Testing, testing. Okay. Going live now, trying to do some different stuff. Doing the audio over Discord, the video over Google Hangouts, and then streaming live with OBS to YouTube. I think I got this working right. I'm gonna test the Discord permissions here really quick. I got a couple guys in Discord. Uh, type something in the Discord server when you guys get this. And what I'm gonna do in the meantime is I'm going to get the invite and I'm gonna copy the invite and I'm gonna put it in the description of this video. Okay, so what we're gonna say is right below the host. Actually, no, let's put it up by the top. Discord link. Yep, that should work, I think. Hey, Fizz. Okay, now this is what I think. Um, I think if you try to enter the live streaming chat, it will not let you enter that room, that area, that part. I think what other shows do, what other places do, is they say if you want to come on the show, you come into the green room, and then if you click on the green room, I can drag and drop you into the live streaming area, I believe. Maybe. Yeah, can you please join the green room? And I guess green room's a good name. Okay, so now if I click and drag, there you go. Now you're here. Okay. So that's how I can like have uh live people in the on like a live show without them having to go through a whole bunch of configuration is a logic because other things like mumble servers and they're a little bit of a pain to configure. And then with Google Hangouts, what if you don't have a Google account? Kind of is self-defeating then, I believe. That's okay. Okay, yeah, I did hear static for a second, so at least something is transmitting over. Yeah, push to talk, I always make it my right control button just because I never hit that control key. Otherwise, doing the voice sensitivity one, it's like completely hit and miss, especially if you have a built-in laptop mic. It's like all over the place. On mobile, I was shocked at how it almost worked well. Yeah, some people try to do their push to talk key and they push it to like the space bar. Well, then you can't type and you can't do anything else. Um, some people have like the mice with like 20 buttons on it and they map it to that. That to me seems almost problematic just because there's too many buttons for you to accidentally hit. I am tempted to nuke and pave my Octoprint server. I'm not gonna lie. So let me see. Did he not come here? Let me see. Hey, Rich. Good to see you, man. I'm finally feeling at least better. I'm not going to say I feel great, but I most definitely feel better than I did in the past. They got me on steroids, antibiotics, and an inhaler. And after like 3 days of that, I finally stopped coughing. They said it went from bronchitis to pneumonia, which of course, ain't good. And yeah, let me see. Yeah, the general should be in here. I don't know if he's live or not. General, he was getting ready to just get a new 3D printer. And I put a link that I thought was pretty cool for 3D printers. And wow, that's taking a while to load. So let me see if this works now. Okay, so that worked well. I'm not going to say it worked great. I want to see that chat up there. You got caught brewing? Brewing what? Hey, General, dumb question. Did you see in the other Discord server that link to the Thingiverse page about the Ender 3D printer? You I think that was the one you said you bought on Black Friday sale for a really good price. I was told that page that I linked had really good like troubleshooting and tips for someone new to 3D printing. You got caught brewing? Well, that's not good, Rich. You're not supposed to get caught brewing. And why is that not working? Okay, let me just try this. studio.youtube.com. I don't want to leave the chat over here because then I can't see it. Ah, well, I tell you, when you're getting ready to pull the trigger, do not hesitate. Ask me. I got a group of people who I really do trust, who are really on top of their business. Literally, it's their business. Um, and like they're really good at knowing what's right now the hot printer to buy, not just because it's a good price, not just because it's a good printer, but the support that it's getting, has gotten better kind of thing. It always changes, is what I'll say, but it goes through waves where certain printers are really good, really good price. Like I got mine, I think at the perfect time, the Creatali CR10 works really well. Got to log into the right account. Yeah, and I did just print a couple more things in my printer over the weekend. It's almost getting to that point where it's almost getting too cold back there in my garage. I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to get like extra padding in the door. The good thing about this CR10 is you don't need to know how to do anything to put it together. It's literally just comes in 3 big pieces where a lot of other printers comes in like 200 little pieces, where it comes in just like 3 pieces, really easy to put together, really solid when you put it together, and pretty upgradable, which means you're probably going to end up spending another 100 to $200 more in the next year just because you want all the bells and whistles that you can get with a better quit printer like a Prusa printer, like automatic bed leveling, multi-headed extruder, so you can do multicolored devices. Okay, got that up and running now. There are more people in the YouTube chat. Upper respiratory infecting. Oh, that's not good, Rich. You need to go to the doctor, man. This is not the time of year. I know too many people right now who are way too sick, been coughing way too long. You need to like kick it out. Need to get rid of it. Okay, so that's working right. Yeah, I know the one you got was the ANET printer, which I want to say is the Tinker's Dream, was the nicest way I heard it put. Just means, you're like a sadist. And it requires nonstop tinkering. The CR10 requires tinkering, not nonstop, but it definitely requires tinkering. And then if you never want to tinker with it again, you just buy a Prusa and everything just works perfect. And I wanna say your printer was only about $200 too, Rich, so that ain't bad. Yeah. Okay, now this should work too. I stupidly bought the Google Play Pass thing. Um, so of course, once in a while, I just go and I just download something because I paid for it. I might as well play it. Uh, Actually, it unfortunately it is mostly games on there. Uh, Transition, and this is like one of the few games that if I actually play, I can actually talk while I play. And I don't even know why I have my picture down there. You don't need to see me to this game. This is I've been told this is the game you play when you haven't worked enough in your life and you just want to do simple, mundane tasks. It's called Drive Simulator. Literally, Drive Simulator. Uh, you're in a really like small town, maybe like 3 or 4 city blocks long, and each round is different types of task involving driving. Yes, right now I'm driving a like plane towing truck. I don't even know what it's called. I gotta go pick up this plane before other planes come and crash into it. Because if you wait too long, that will happen. And then you gotta get it into its right parking spot. And this is just one of them. There's one. I want to say at least 40 different tasks you can do. Yeah, there's the plane that was going to come in that I got to make sure I don't hit or it hit me. Yeah, I know. I'm bored. Um, I figured if I'm going to sit here and just jabber and, people want to come on, all they got to do is join the Discord server. Discord in the link is in the link. I can put you in to the live stream we consider in BS. But if I'm going to talk while I play a game, it can't be a game that takes up brain power because, it won't work. Not well, I tell you right now, James, my notifications have went almost bonkers in the last like couple days, partially because I got 2 updates on Android on Discord and they seem to be significant updates and each time it like changed a lot of how my Discord acts on my device is what I'll say. On desktops I'm still getting good notifications. I'm not going to say great notifications. Okay, park this thing, earn some XP. And what I will say, what I did, because I already played most of this, is I will click where it says double XP, but I'm not going to let you guys see it because it's a stupid ad that's really bad. So I do that whenever there's an ad coming on. Oh, man. I will say again, man, and without sounding dumb, I really hope everyone's doing good without sounding stupid. Um, with each year, I think I'm saying this more harshly to myself and to others. Um, this is the death time of year. This is when bad things happen to a lot of people. Um, I've spoken to, I want to say, 4 people in the last week that have had deaths: uncles, brothers, parents, pets, everybody all around. So this is the time of year you really got to like be careful, talk to everybody, make sure everyone else is doing okay. I've tried to do my part and ask people if everything's going okay. Now, because I got this on Google Play Pass, I can just come here and say, I want more money. Normally, clicking that button would cost $50, 50 friggin' dollars. But because I'm part of the Google Play Pass, I can just keep clicking it over and over again. It just keeps giving me money. I like money. Do you like money? Money's like fun. I have fun with money. Um, Now this should not be in my way. Get out of the way.
Does that break their monetization model?
Not completely. What I will tell you happens is dependent on how much people play the game, um, they get more money back. So I believe the more I play the game, the more the game people who are involved in the Google Play Pass do get some kind of monetization. There's no way they get their full monetization amount, but I'm sure they're happier to get something versus nothing. While I almost get in an accident here, and I'll just push him out of my way. Yeah, the driving in this game, I will say, is unbelievably broke. Um, there's like cars that do very specific patterns, and there's places where if you play the game for any length of time, you'll notice cars never go. They never seem to go around the outside up here, because this is like the whole city. Oh, no, let's stop and look around. Like airport, dock, big, huge area. Then here's the rest of the city. Around this outer edge, they never go. Cars never go. So whenever you're carrying something big, if you go around the outside up here past this intersection, the other cars will never go. And I really do hope to a degree that it does break the monet- monetization model because I don't like the idea of game designers relying on in-app purchases. Um,
Yeah, that's such an entrenched system.
it is, but I will say there was just two conferences like in the last couple weeks where game designers said they believed it's the beginning of the end of that model. They don't see it working in the next 2 years. Um, they do think mobile is only going to get bigger and more game power on it. But they think that they're going to figure out other models of making money because they're getting a lot of backlash.
Well, I guess they're just gonna do what everybody else is doing and just make everything a subscription, huh?
Ding, that's what I'm afraid of. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. Um, and the main reason I don't like that model for games is because with games, that sounded dumb, there's history with games. And if, you know, we, let's say in like 100 years, cannot tell somebody what it meant to play Pac-Man because you can't play it anymore because, they took it off of their store. Um, to me, that's not good. I want the future generations to like understand what kind of games we had, uh, what we quote unquote grew up on, and how the gaming system changes. Where if everything is an online um, model, there's games that they'll just like never even see.
Yeah, that's why I love emulation so much, is discovering all this history that is games that I didn't actually play when I was growing up, but I'm discovering them now.
Yeah, and there is some really good emulators out there. I will say the one that really blew me away, Lakka, Lakka. They have right now in beta. Um, it's a testing system to where you can play. I believe right now it's only NES, original Nintendo Entertainment System. You can play two-player NES games with two people in different parts of the world, as long as you're both running the same ROM and you're using the same core when you run your emulation. Um, I've tested it like 2 or 3 times, and I was shocked. People were 1,000 miles from me, and we were able to play ice hockey. We played like 2 or 3 games, and we literally couldn't tell that we weren't sitting in like the same exact room.
I didn't know Laka had implemented that feature. That sounds really cool.
Well, it's I believe right now it's only for NES. We tried it like a month ago or so. And I will say he has exceptionally good bandwidth. My bandwidth is just fine. Um, what he tried to explain to me was, back in the day, quote unquote, hardware was so slow, processors were so slow, RAM was so slow, blah 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 blah, that now we have such speed in everything else, it can actually like make up for that distance that the signal has to go. And it kind of made sense, but either way, I was still, floored at how well it worked.
And that sounds similar to what people have been theorizing about doing with this Steam Remote Play. where just one of you has the ROM and your friend hops on and plays it with you. I don't know if that works though. I haven't.
I haven't tried it either, but I have a nephew. He's close to me. He's only like 20 minutes from me, but he is unbelievably infatuated with cat everything. Like one year, just because it drove his mom crazy, we bought him a mini cat piano, and every key was a meow meow meow, a different sound. Needless to say, less than a week later, his older brother broke the piano because it's kind of annoying. Um, but I bought him a couple games on Steam. One of them was Cat Tales. The other game was Cat Quest, and Cat Quest 2 just came out, and it does have two-player, but it's only local multiplayer. And when I heard about that new Steam feature, I thought that's a perfect uh like excuse to like try to play that with him. I haven't had a chance to actually try it yet.
The only thing I wonder is if Laka and Steam Remote Play start getting really popular with sharing ROMs, is Nintendo going to come down with the ban hammer?
Well, look, I can't believe like how Nintendo's not coming down the ban hammer. I don't know if you've heard about oh man, what's it called? I want to say it's called System 7. It's not called System 7. Polygon 7? Poly 7? You can go on Amazon and in some Walmarts and buy, it's essentially like a big huge dual joystick with two joysticks, six buttons, and then two extra buttons for each player. So it's a total of 8 buttons per player with a stick per each player. And built into it is literally like 700 emulated games, and some of them are literally Nintendo games. And it's like I don't know how Nintendo has not like went insane and crushed them. ETA Prime just did a video on it. Let me see, because I never heard of them. And he just mentioned it, and then I went and I looked on YouTube, and on YouTube, and I mean, I'm sorry, on Amazon, they never say what the games are. They just say hundreds of games, and they just leave it at that. Here it is, Pandora's Key 7. So let's go like this and say Amazon.com Pandora's Key 7. And he said there's literally hundreds of models of these. And they literally change them like every couple weeks. He said it's like they come out with a brand new version. So maybe that's one of the things. It's just hard for Nintendo to keep up with them. Hey, Rain. Yeah, see, there's the link of the one that he showed, where and you can add your own custom games to it. You can add your own custom Super Nintendo games, PlayStation games, and on the back of the console there's USB, so you can literally plug in a PlayStation 4 controller or an Xbox controller and connect with it. He did say most of your 3D gaming experiences will not be happy playing that device, but using um 2D games, he was like he was shocked at how well it worked. Um, Let me launch this thing back up again. I don't know what happened, but it didn't like that last check-in I did. Like,
I'm looking at that Amazon link.
yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's not. I mean, he says it's overpriced. Well, he knows what he's talking about. He knows how to crack these things open and actually look at, all the internals, and knows the processor, knows the RAM, knows how much they cost. And he's like, this thing's clearly overpriced. And I'm looking at it thinking, if the buttons are decent, the sticks are okay, I can add my own custom games to it. Maybe it's not a bad price.
Well, the thing that I find interesting is I know that those fight sticks, if you buy a good quality fight stick, they can be a couple $100.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
was
this thing looks like it's like the fight stick, but you're talking about the games are in it. versus a regular fight stick, you drop this money and you would have to hook it up to all this.
Yeah, I was in, when I was in, Portland, Cody Cooper competitively gamed Street Fighter. So he was, like, showing me his sticks, and he was educating me on the sticks, and I'm like, $200 just for the stick. It's like, "Oh, you're insane." Um,
Right.
and, like, ETA Prime says that the sticks are better than they used to be. The buttons are better than they used to be, but they're not quote unquote good. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm starting to think like maybe your um expectations are a little bit high because something tells me that these sticks are fine. They might not be great, they might not be perfect, but they're probably fine. And wow, this thing has just started like really slowing up on me.
That nostalgia. Those sticks that we had back in the day were better.
Right, right. Let me restart the level. Yeah, I will say, when I first saw that stick and I did see how you can play all those different games on it, you know, it's kind of cool. But I will say I like the idea of the one up cabinets just a little bit better. Um, I don't like the fact they charge you $50 just to get a base for the cabinet to make it more like full height.
Well, I think at least once a week, if not more, I see a post on Reddit with somebody building their own custom art.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember back in the day, Patrick Norton. I can't remember what it might have been DLTV where he made one and he like documented it from like scratch. And this was at least 6 years ago or so. So, a lot's changed since then. But even then, nothing was overly complicated. Nothing was overly hard. You just had to know, well, this is the kind of board you want. This is the kind of buttons you want to buy. This is the kind of stick you want to buy. And then it was just a normal laptop screen with the proper inverter on it. Things like that. And I was just really impressed. And yeah, this thing does not want to seem to work right now. So I'm going to do this.
I think my favorite thing about those old school cabinets, the original ones, is how much force you could throw into those things when you were playing the game, and the cabinet wouldn't.
Oh yeah, those things were built for kids to literally beat the crap out of. Yeah, back in Glen Burnie, where I grew up, and the arcades still exist. The arcade Crab Town. I swear, they have at least 40 cabinets. At least 30 of them are the exact cabinets from when I was a kid, the exact hardware in them as I was a kid, and like 80% of the cabinets still work good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's completely filthy and I wouldn't eat anything in the place, but the arcade games are cool. And yeah, that was the place where I learned where I really sat down, played Super Mario Brothers, and was able to with 1 quarter beat the game or just sit there like an hour plus and play it, which the owners hated because you're supposed to put a quarter in every 3 minutes. You're not supposed to be able to sit there for an hour on 1 quarter. So they didn't like me very much.
Beating the system at a young age.
Yeah, but trust me, I definitely threw enough money away there. Made up for it. Okay, so I just hard rebooted this thing. Let's see if it goes any better. Hey James, it's from the uh not Teespring. Oh, Zazzle. Zazzle's the place we're getting the hats for now. And it's only out of convenience and laziness and the fact that they don't completely rip me off the hat is the only reason why I'm getting my hats through Zazzle. Every place else I've tried to go, it's almost shocking how much more they want to charge for the hat. And wow, that transition like kind of freaked me out. I've never had a transition take that long. I'm thinking I must have messed something up. There's no way it should take that long. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Must have been something literally like hanging. Okay, so let's try this again. Because actually, without sounding dumb, for at least, oh man, I'm trying to think now. At least 5 years of my life, I was in a warehouse loading pallets, loading trucks, using forklifts, all that kind of thing. So I was almost shocked at the second um, task in this game was you had to basically use like a boom, uh, the back of a truck, and then like the third or fourth uh, thing you did, you had to use a forklift. I was actually kind of shocked. I'm like, I thought this was just going to be driving around a stupid truck, but no, this is like emulating. I don't want to say manual labor, but more construction type labor. Yeah, this is to me is like the perfect kind of pointless game when you just need your mind to be occupied. And honestly, it's the perfect kind of game to listen to when you're listening to a podcast because you don't need any of this audio. All you need to do is just know how to control your devices, and then you can like come pull these vents off the building without destroying everything. And I think go to the dumper, these get fixed. I can't remember. Go. Now the key.
And is this your top pick from the Play
Oh
Pass?
no, 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 no. This is not even a good game in my opinion, but this is better than a lot of the other stuff. Stardew Valley is available on Play Pass. Um, without sounding dumb, I've heard that described as digital. Oh, what's the word? I'm trying to think of it now.
Nirvana?
No, not Nirvana. It's one of those like vacations people Xanax, digital Xanax. Like if you need to just calm down and relax and like go like Zen, just play some Stardew Valley. With that said, if you're looking for like action, adventure, shooting, CS:GO type or whatever, no, you will absolutely despise the game. You will think it's one of the stupidest things you've ever seen in your life. Um, but there was at least a couple more other games. I'll say that. I was looking at the Play Pass. Um, but I will say I've gotten 2 emails now where they're doing a absolutely horrible job in advertising what is available to Play Pass. They're actually highlighting some of the apps. Like here is their new and notable. You would hope you would recognize some of the new and notable. Some, not all, just some. Okay. AWGT custom widget maker. I heard of that. That's actually really popular, really powerful, really good. Drive Simulator. There's Drive Simulator. Nothing else I've even heard of. And nothing else even looks like I want to click on. Nothing. I mean, code carts, pre-coding for kids. I did look at that. It's okay. Pixel art. No, that's not very good. And this is their new and notable section, which you would think would be the best of their best. Door Kickers, really good game. The best way to just go through all the things available by game is literally come down to the game categories, and I just go through each one. Make it like this, like their action games, shadow fights defense, over the top tower defense, OTDD. You gotta like tower defense. Reckless getaway. We literally, I think we brought that to the show around episode 200, well over 2 to 3 years ago. Space Marshals is okay. That's one of those top-down shooter games. Really good graphics, really good mechanics. There's a lot of like duck and cover in that game. I thought that was actually pretty good. Let me see. Titan Quest was okay. Duel is actually, and it can be a fun 2-player game. But you literally do like 2 different devices. So that's the only like downfall to it, where you each have your own device. Like holiday season, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, give a couple kids this game. Oh, they will go at it. They will have a blast. I can tell you that. They will have fun. I know I had my 2 kids and my 2 nephews using devices for like a half an hour. One was on a tablet, the other was on a phone, and they were just going at it like tooth and nail. I was, of course, just laughing at them. Um,
Yeah, it looks like an interesting con.
and that's what I liked about it. It was different because you put it in front of a kid and they're like, "What is this? This makes no sense. I've never seen this before." Um, Lich Spear is an old classic game, really good. But all it is you're just standing in one basic area. You have to arc your light spear, lich spear, in the right way to hit the right people and power up your spear to hit like big guys harder, things like that. Fun, but got old kind of quick, is what I'll say. Nothing else really caught my eye out of this group, especially Cat Simulator. I think I'll pass on that.
Yeah, so far of everything you've named, I would think Stardew is the top.
Well, it did win independent game of the year on Google Play Awards, and it also won something on Steam this year. I can't remember what it was. Um, Man's Journey isn't really a game. It's like a point and click adventure, but a lot of fun to go through the story. But once you go through the story, you don't need to play it again, kind of thing. Um, I want to say I talked to that game dev privately once. He was pretty cool. My oldest son loved Thimbleweed Park, is literally like the old school classic Lucas Arts um point and click adventure where you literally have to point on a bookshelf, pick a book, and through the um puzzle finding and figuring out and talking to people, it is a touch adult. I will say that. If I do remember, this should be at least, yeah, T for teen, but he loved it. Brawl a Stickman epic. My youngest loves the game. I don't get that game at all. Swordingo. We brought this one, I want to say around episode 250 or so. Really solid side platforming game, and a lot of levels, a lot of depth. But if you're not a platform kind of guy, you know, you're not going to like that at all. Okay. Um, Let me see here. Yeah, see, most of these just not capture me at all. And I literally did download about a third of these, just 30 seconds into playing it, uninstall. Lumino City, I want to say. Yeah, this was another point and click. Yeah, it was decent. Fun to look at, but that was about it. Limbo was I think a popular one that we brought. Had to be a while ago. Yeah, yeah, my son loved the darkness of this one. Yeah, because I want to say it started out with the kid dead, so he thought it was funny. Yeah. Arcade. Here was where I really thought I was going to see a whole bunch of games I really liked. No, because I'm an arcade guy.
Oh,
Pinball,
no.
right? Pinball is okay. Um, but there's like 2 or 3 free pinball games on the Switch. You get them for free, turn the Switch sideways, and then if you want extra tables, you have to buy them. 5 times better than this pinball. I have no problem in saying. This was fun, but nowhere as good as the other pinballs that I played. All was like cartoonishly bad as far as I was concerned. This to me was like something you would get on like a, cheap handheld console like a decade ago. Didn't like that one. Um, Chameleon Run, I literally think we brought around episode 50. I think the game is that old. All you do is nonstop runner. It was before the word endless runner even existed. Endlessly run and hop, and that's all you do. Good graphics, but there's only so much I can endlessly hop. Yeah, Samurai. This was almost like Samurai Showdown. not mistaken. Oh, no, 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 I remember this. This is like you walk into a room, button masher, you only got, like, 2 or 3 buttons, and you just basically kill everything that you can as quickly as possible. This was okay. I know we brought this to this would be closer to 300. That's all of the arcade games. See, this one rang a bell, but I can't remember. That would have been brought by somebody else. I just did arcade. Board games, I'm never gonna play a board game on my Android device. Risk Risk interests me at least. Checkers, dominoes, Matching King. Calls it Matching King. It's concentration. Um, yeah, I mean, mahjong. It's fun to play a little bit. Card games, solitaire, basically fancy solitaire. Reigns is actually a really fun game. But it's the kind of game that you really can only play so many times, and then there to do. You bring in Reigns, Her Majesty, same kind of thing. Yeah, card game. I didn't expect much from it. Is what I'll say. Um, no, see, casual games literally only 7 games. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And yeah, none of them have like old school. Um, um, and this was the old Linux game back in the 90s. Just I don't know why I would want to play that on my Android device. Bubble Poke. No, I don't think so. Gem games, which I'm kind of shocked. We looked at the educational games for my kids, all like educational games, like for 3-year-olds kind of thing, which, year-old's going to be on the tablet and phone anyway. May as well try to put an educational game in front of them. Yeah, the puzzle game. I don't remember any of these connecting with me. I think we did bring more than a couple of these flow free games to the show. They're fun, but you should figure out the MO, how it works. Bridge Construction Portal. I seriously think that was around episode 20, maybe even episode 50. We brought this game because it had the word portal in it. So everyone kept thinking, this is going to be fantastic. This is Portal.
Yeah, that's the Portal logo. Is somebody gonna get sued?
Well, it is put out by a company that did 2 other Portal type games on mobile platforms, is what I'll say. It's not good. What it is you're a bridge builder, basically. Um, Not very good. The flow free games, they are fun, I will not lie, but then once you get the game, you're done, you don't play it again. 2048, there's them. They're okay. Uh, Lines Physics. This was one of the ones that at least interested me because it looked different. Um, where you have to basically draw your colors and everything separately. This made you think, which was okay, but else I can think of here caught my eye. Yeah, no, no, I think we're about halfway done. Here's where again I thought we're gonna find some really good ones. Um, Car driving off-road legends 2 were both horrible. I tried them both. Thumb drift. It was to me this was like the game where you don't want to drive. This is like Mario Kart. Where you literally just one thumb. All you do is just turn. All you do. Um, not a racing game at all. Racing game. Absolute drift involved more than just pushing one button. This one to me was almost a little bit of fun. Um, Simplistic graphics. Um, that could see a lot around me, so that one was actually kind of fun. Role playing, I don't have the time for most of these, but I will say Land is fantastic. Evo Land, and I don't care if we get taken down. I'll show this video, but I think I gotta mute it. Evoland to me was one of the most fun games I played, uh, mainly because of the shock value, because I didn't know what I was getting into when I first played it. You basically start out the game really like a 4-bit game. It should work. You're literally playing like a 4-bit game. Unlock bit, then you unlock 16-bit, then you unlock D, then you unlock save state, then you unlock a turbo mode. Just keep unlocking and features of games, um, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps going. Towards the end, it gets a little um like you're just churning through the game a little bit of repetition, but it was still fun, is what I'll say. But it definitely also got challenging at the end. The leveling up, you had to literally stop what you were doing, go grind a little bit to level up, but it was still fun. And they do have, I want to say, Evoland 2 out now. I want to say they also have another one that they came out with. Let's go back here. And this is the Chromebook Flip, just in case you didn't know. Really good Chromebook. Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic. This is literally a game, I want to say, from 2002, a full like desktop computer game. This is the exact same code base that game is put in Android form. If you have or Bluetooth, you can map the keys, screen functionality, and I've been told if you have the time to play and you have a good network connection, this is a very good RPG play. Terrified to lose my time. I will not even load it, even though I did buy it. I can't play it. Um, and yeah, Stardew Valley. Put it like this: if you need a game that is on positive things without you at every turn, or you killing somebody at every turn, and there's like no requirements for the game to do anything you don't want in the game. Farm, you don't have to fish, you have to buddy, you don't have to play any of the arcade machines in their bar. You don't have to craft anything you don't want to. It's also the kind of game easily 400 hours and literally still learn new things, what's going on in the game. And they just had a big content patch, release 1.4. The game, the only thing lacking on Android is there's still no multiplayer, which they don't know if they're going to come out with or not. But I will say, it does make it fun.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to the game. Was I did the online multiplayer with a friend who also had it on Steam.
Yeah, and that multiplayer works shockingly good. The only thing I don't like about that multiplayer, love single player, you just hit escape or menu and time freezes, time to think. Multiplayer, you can't do that.
Also, doesn't the other person have to be on?
Uh,
Like, the person that owns it has to be signed into Steam for you both to be able to.
well, yes and no. There are okay, Nintendo Switch, you both have to be on at the same time. For you both have to be on at the same time. On Xbox, you both have to be on at the same time. Steam, if you um install PI or SAMPI mods, there is a service you can use where you can say of our will not be me, it will not be you. This server out there, literally tag team. You might work 8 to noon, or 8 to 4. The other person might work 4 to midnight. Still be working on the same farm, but both of you not be on the same farm at the same time. Um, Only through mods that you can do that. Um,
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds like what we were looking for, actually.
yeah, it's SAMPI, I wanna say, SAMPI. If anything mod related with Stardew Valley, you wanna go to Nexus Mods, of all the mods. They literally test everything to make sure imaging, they won't infect you, there's no code in it kinda thing. There. Um, 80 days, I'll say this was found refreshingly different because all it basically is traveling around the world in 80 days, the right choices, people, different kind of things happen. And I will say this, I'm really considering doing podcasts where literally just every day episode would be like a 5 to 15 minute one spur to blah 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 blah, and then like here's part of the wiki spoken out because there's enough normal information I'll say about the game there, especially in podcast form. I'm shocked there's no podcast about it. This, I'll say, simulation by far best things to download from the Play Pass. And to be honest, I'm going to start with what I consider to be my game of the year last year, Pocket City. Classic Sim City is unbelievably hard to beat this game. Don't need to remember what you were doing the previous play session. You could very easily pick it up, play for 5 minutes, close it. Have to remember exactly where you left off. A simulator where you can build, you can have disasters, all the kinds of things. Unbelievably friendly gaming, and you literally play the game in portrait mode, um, which I like. I like games in portrait mode. Uh,
Makes it less obvious that you're playing a game if you're at work.
well, that and really means that you can literally hold your drink. You know, because what I end up doing is I keep playing games on my Chromebook, have my phone cast and stuff. Here, yeah, drive simulator, great if you need to not use your brain. Fun. Swear this is not the same dev tycoon that I brought to the show. 100, basically the same. I had lots of fun with this. Stood the history, yeah. To see, there's no way this is the same one. That the company that I game from games on all kinds of platforms too. And wow, Chromebook is not liking me tonight. I will say when I sit too close to my point, yeah, this Chromebook does not like it at all. But I want to see those simulators, damn it. Crash again. This is fun. Sit there for a couple seconds. I actually love my stainless steel cup.
Oh yeah, I have one of those.
It was that Amazon review site with a website.
Oh, that you guys used to use, but now they don't let you do that anymore.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad of a website. But I got that cup for like $4 of five stainless steel straws for like $2. Couldn't pass it up.
I think I
Mini.
might have the same brand as you.
This one, I have two of them. This one is the Arctic.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah. Arctic. I mean, I literally have it in my car in 80 plus degree heat, and this game is maybe the most underrated, simple game thing I've ever seen before. Mini Metro. This is also available on, which is like $3. You just have to link up different areas of a city to basically. What you don't know when you start is like we're our living, breathing puzzle. And the more that you play puzzle, the more you learn about that area. Um, just it is what I'll say, stupid fun. Um, I'm really shocked that if I haven't brought that to the show yet, because I actually bought it on the Switch. I want to say it was like $1.50. It's up $1.50, and I'm gonna guess is something is RAM. And my wife's Chromebook just got the message this week or the week before, any more updates, and she said, "Well, do funny now." She didn't like that. Getting over it. This game, my nephews love. I downloaded it, played it for like 30 seconds. I said, "Ain't no way I'm playing this anymore." It's an aggravating game. The goal of the game is to piss you off because it is too hard. You're a guy stuck in a cauldron with your only mode of transportation and around your body 360. And no, whoa, man. For 30 seconds, and I thought, I'm gonna have a tumor. Yeah, we didn't.
Noodle cake. I recognize noodle cake from
Yeah,
AAA.
they do everything. This is the Police is a game I do not understand whatsoever. Critically acclaimed. Take the role of the police chief, dive into the story of crime and intrigue. You're the police, but you send cops to like their death and stuff. Game, and when it released on the Switch, but it did not get good reviews. Don't get this game at all. Sports game. Games. Galaxy Bowling 3D free? No. Touch Grid BMX? No. Strike Master Bowling? No. BMX was the only one that was like, and this was really on computer. Upset when I played it. Strategy. Kickers is fun. Oh, I know what's going on now. I played YouTube videos. All those tabs open. Whenever you play YouTube videos on a Chromebook, open, it like dumps your RAM. Virtual game where it's top down. You can see the angles of where you can see. This was actually shooter, and I think that was it. Oh no, there's crossword games, word breaker, word search. I got one. Son, I want to say it was the 4.6. He had, this is only like 8 letters by. His were like 30 by 40, and I'm thinking to myself, he's 11 years old. That's a little bit difficult for him to navigate so many letters without, having a pattern of how to do things. So I got him that just to say that this is all they're at. Everyone always asks about on Android is I need a good video editor, I need a good photo editor. This is the best that they have to offer. Um, I I don't know why they offer that for sale. The YouTube videos. I looked through most of these on the show before. So many, I don't know, but I know when I look at a lot of these apps, they're literally some of them. Um, and I selection panel, I would not be going out trying to court. Um, I've heard decent things about it, but what I don't like about it is if you get this, I mean, calendar stuff, business calendar too.
Yeah, I use Google Keep. It's very convenient.
I'm not a fan of Google Keep, but I tell you this, the damn thing works pretty good.
Yeah, from the screenshots you were just showing, that's like a Google Keep clone.
Here was another one, unbelievably worth the money. Unified full remote. This to me is one of the most gloriously underrated on your phone, and I've owned this for control Spotify on a computer, iTunes on a computer, Google Music computer, VLC on a computer. So it's like a dedicated tube. You can literally have like a custom board right there sitting in front of you. Um, it's really hard to show. This was the VLC player. So if you have VLC full screen, it is a full screen browser. You can pull up a browser control where you hope everything's going good, man. I wish I would hear
Yeah, that's usually how I do it.
Oh, Charles. I didn't see you there, Charles.
Hello, everyone.
I can hear you.
I can hear you too.
I think I lost sound on Door though.
That was me, man. My computer did not like that. I dragged Charles in, and it just decided to go boom.
All right, looks like we're back in business.
Yep, should be good. Yep. Oh, hit the wrong button. Yeah. Photography apps. I mean, Camera MX, I've heard good things about. Retouch, I've heard good things about. That's about it. Yeah, I mean, for the first year, the Google Play Pass, if you do the full year ahead of time, it's $2 a month. I believe they literally only charge me $2 a month. You know, for the show, I'm willing to pay that gamble. If I was a normal end user, I would be very upset if I didn't already own U- Unified Remote, Stardew Valley, all these other games. But this is their entertainment section. This is horrible.
Well, it makes me wonder, this goes full circle to what we were talking about with the monetization.
Think you cut out. But yeah, I will say the other thing I don't like that they're doing is the oh man, what's it called? Charles knows, where they're trying to suck more money out of you by giving you like points back. Google Play points system back, which I think is unbelievably scummy. Just I mean, if that's anything dumb to me, that's Apple like.
Or have you seen the pay-to-wait games?
I don't know.
Basically, most games coming out on the Play Store, they're pay-to-wait. Is what Jim Sterling calls them. Where you basically play the game, and then it brings up a roadblock where it wants you to pay for the game in order to continue, or wait like an exorbitant amount of time.
Well, that's how games have been for like 3 years. I mean,
Yeah,
that's why the first thing I do when I download any game, oh no, sorry, when I just link to a game, the first thing I do is I just click and look and says, does it say in-app purchases and does it say in-app ads? And if it does say either or both, I don't download because I know it's going to either make me watch ads or it's going to say, oh, you've gotten as far as you can get. Now give us some money. So
yeah.
I just won't play that game. I just can't. I mean, I have a console where if I want to, I can just load a game up on that and I don't have to worry about
It,
micro everything.
soon that's not going to be the case anymore. Game developers have been pushing the same
Eh,
model as mobile games onto consoles, which sucks.
no, only scummy companies are doing that.
AAA is what they.
Well, more and more of them are doing it. It's definitely a trend.
They even have a name for people who pay the microtransactions. They're whales, and then
Yeah,
dolphins, and then minnows are the people who are the freeloaders.
right. And now here's what I'm saying about this game. Right in front of me, there's that left turn. That is around the outside of here. Cars will never go on that outside. They will always avoid that outside turn. So I know in this game, whenever I have a bigger load and I don't want to get in as many accidents, Well, A, he won't stop. They never stop in front of you, even if you have the right of way. Cars don't understand the right of way, and they'll never go around this outside part. So all I gotta do is come out here, and there'll never be anybody out here. Yeah, I think I'm dropping this off at the dump. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Switch. And without sounding dumb, you know, this is, I don't want to say this is the kind of job, but doing this kind of stupid labor thing is like, I'm happy I don't have to do this for a living because I did enough manual labor, I felt like in my youth, to where I don't want to do it again. So I like the fact that I can basically gamify it, waste my time doing this here. But I will say I'm just anal enough that I still want to load things correctly. Go.
So what I was wondering earlier is is the reason that more premium stuff isn't on Play Pass because it might break their monetization schemes?
Well, it might be both ways, is what I'll say. It wouldn't shock me if Google can't entice, or they're not trying to entice people who are making money off of the scummy model. They're not enticing them enough to stop doing that, come into the Play Pass, will, take care of you kind of thing. Um, or is it just that, those companies don't want to change for anything? We're fine, get away from us kind of mentality. I don't know.
Because there's gotta be differences between how much Google's gonna pay you to be on Play Pass and just unlimited money that you can get from microtransactions.
Well, I know, but I'll say this: there is no right answer. But what I will say is, companies, I have to believe, would rather know what they're going to make than not know what they're going to make. The only plus to going with Google is they should be able to give you a better idea on rock solid how much money you're going to make. Where with the microtransactions, it's literally like a gamble from month to month, unless of course you're Fortnite. And like, the thing is, I love hate Fortnite because their model is not pay to win. Their model is pay so you can show off to other people what you have, not to win or lose, which, you know, is better than paying to win, but I doesn't mean
It's
I have to like the model.
it's still scummy. Like there's from what I've heard, there's derogatory terms for people who don't pay called default.
Huh. Yes, 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 yes. I have heard my nephew call his his cousin a dirty default.
Oh god.
To which,
And
of course, I'm like,
don't get me started on what Epic is doing in the PC space.
well, they're doing their due diligence to maximize profits.
Epic exclusives.
Right. Well, and I'll say that's the other thing I like about Stardew Valley. It's literally one guy who literally uh who did have to do a couple deals in the past with other companies, but since then he's saved enough money, he's been able to break those deals off to where he doesn't have to rely on them anymore. Uh, there's only one company he still relies on, and it's just for the mobile distribution, and he is not happy about it. Yeah. wi- Without sounding stupid, to me, the best and worst thing that can happen to games in the next year is Google Stadia, because I would like to believe they could help curb the microtransaction addiction and push people towards more of a subscription base. I'll much rather say to my kid, here's $10 a month, play games, versus having him come to me saying, "Dad, I need $1. Dad, I need $1. Dad, I need $1," nonstop. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to buy these right now just to get it out of the way.
Well, I know so far all the reception that I've heard about Stadia has been quite negative.
Well, I'll say it's one of those things. I think it needs time. And nothing launches hot anymore. Um, Everything that has launched in the last 5 years has launched before it's fully baked. So, I mean, even like the Nintendo Switch when it first launched, it was not ready to be launched. It should not have been launched. It should have waited at least like 4 months. But they launched it anyway. With Google Stadia, I would hope within 6 months they would have a majority of the things figured out. Because I thought when they first did Founders Edition, they said they were going to wait 3 months, and Founders Edition just happened November. But I do believe that anybody now can just log in and say click buy.
Well, the thing I'm confused about is the quote unquote free Google Stadia still launches in the future, right?
Yep, yep. Well, and with the free Google Stadia, you get nothing. You get a account, and then you have to buy games basically at full like price.
Well, see that's the part that I'm not. I must be not understanding something right from the reviews because people now are saying that it's like a double dip. You have to pay the Stadia subscription, but then you're paying full price, like $60 for every game on top of the subscription.
Not every game. Now they have 6 games available in your bundle. One of them is Farming Simulator. One of them is Destiny. Um, ah, I can't remember the other ones, but there's like right now, I want to say maybe 4 or 6 games that you don't have to pay for. Um, and um, they said John Justice said in an interview they plan on trying to. He said it very carefully. They plan on trying to every month or so to have 2 to 4 games for free added into the library. What they've not made clear yet is if you join in February, will you get all the games that all the other members already have? Um, and nobody knows yet. Um, and but they do believe that if you cancel your subscription, you will lose access to all your games.
Yeah, and that's another pain for the people who might be buying a game at full price.
Well, and
Like if
I'd
you
say that's the one thing I hate about games. They never come down in price. I mean, when it went from physical to digital, I thought we were going to get a discount. We got screwed.
If anything else, they went up in price.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand. I try like to explain to my wife. It's one of the problems with electric vehicles versus gas vehicles. Um, Institutions are in place, are accustomed to, kind of like an alimony court case. They are accustomed to making so much money. So then, if all of a sudden we as consumers don't spend as much money in gas and we have electric vehicles, well, they're going to have to make their money up somehow else. So with games, it's like they won't let themselves make less money. They insist, no, 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 no. We have to make as much money, if not more. And we consumers hate to say we don't have a choice, but
I have some issues with the word consumer myself. Like consumer has such a has a kind of a negative connotation to it.
I don't think
It
so.
means
Consumerism gives us everything we have, whether it be a impossible Whopper that people cuss at, or you know, um,
yeah, but it basically makes us not feel human in the way that customer is more human than consumer.
Well, customer means that you're paying for it. Consumer just means that you're just taking it in. And it's like that was one of the things I listened to last week. The China and some of the changes that they're going through. They also think that it is a very dirty way to envision people as consumers, but their consumer market has like literally blown up in the last let's say 36 months. They said it's been like literally insane. And then my dad, love my dad, but he said he was happy to hear the number of imports to China went up and the number of exports from China went down. You know, America, ugh, kind of attitude. And I was like, well, Dad, I guess you didn't hear like what actually is happening. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, China personally paid something like 18% of the manufacturing companies inside of China to get out of China and move to Vietnam, Indonesia, like through like three countries there, uh, just because it looked good in paper. But all the profits still go back to, you know, China. And they did it specifically so they could show people that look, China's losing all of these imports and exports kind of thing, just because, you know, they knew that it would drive consumers to just spend more money. Customers spend more money.
In other news, I bought a game console 5 years too late, a PS.
I tell you, man, the games that I know that are on that system that are good are among the best.
Especially for me, because I'm into all those Japanese games that you can't get anywhere else.
Didn't they have like 2 or 3 main versions of the device?
There's two main versions. There's the 1000 and the 2000. I got the 1000 with cellular, which is the OLED display and everything, and it has 18.
Gotcha.
The only downside is that there's black spots on the OLED when it's displaying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Vita's great if you love Japanese games or indie games.
Also,
In what way is it mod?
Well, that's nice.
What system version is it?
you can downgrade system firmware now on the Vita, so it's 3.
Gotcha.
Which actually doesn't support TLS.
Huh.
I have to get a mod that backport.
Is that just the Hinkaku plugin? Tai-Hin plugin, I mean.
Or there's a one for TLS. I also got the SD to V. So I don't have to use a memory card. I can just use a 128 gig SD card that I have in the.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Those SD card prices really shot down recently.
Oh my God, they went crazy. I love it.
I bought a 250.
Just got mine in the mail today.
Yeah, what, a 256 is now sub $30 now or something like that?
Depending what kind.
Yeah, I tried to like encourage the wife. She wanted to get the youngest one a DS Lite. I'm sorry, a Switch Lite. And I told her, well, look, you should wait. And she said, for what? I said, well, because you're going to get an SD card, right? She said, yeah. I said, well, then you should wait. She said, for what? I said, just to wait. She's like, no, I'm just going to buy one now. So she spent literally twice as much as she had to.
I can actually get a 17% discount on the Switch whenever it's in stock at the Dell.com site.
I tell you, the classic games on that device. I mean, Mario Kart. is unbelievably emulated because it is emulated. You literally have rewind features, save state features, you have everything. The emulation on that device, it reminds me, hate to say this, like Napster back in the day. I loved Napster because I could literally, download everything that Jimi Hendrix ever created in like 18 seconds. But then if you give me a service where I pay pennies and I have access to everything I ever want, I'm okay with it. Um, the emulation on the Switch almost makes me think I'm okay with spending money for classic games. And yeah,
Speaking of emulation, the Vita supports RetroArch, so I can.
well, that's definitely a plus.
That's why I had the 128.
Yeah, and Donkey Kong on the Switch, there's 2 versions of it, but it is literally like the arcade port. It is insane how accurate that one is.
I can also play PS1 games and PSP games.
Did you guys ever try out the Android version of that PSP emulator that I linked maybe a few?
I tried it on, I'm trying to remember. It was not my Rock 64. I tried it on something and it worked well. It didn't work great. With that one and Dreamcast emulation, I've had a hard time. On everything I've run on Android, anything above N64 is where it just starts to choke and die.
Yeah, the Vita has.
And I will say, the GPD Pocket is the only thing that comes close to being able to run the PSP and the Dreamcast emulation.
What was the PSP emulator name you linked?
Um, I believe it's PPSSPP. Like
Yeah.
all the letters are double.
Oh yeah. I gotcha. With that one, it seems to always be hit or miss with me. It just depends on what game I'm trying to emulate.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say to Door. I think it kind of depends what games you're doing. Some work really well, some don't work for me.
Great thing about having a Vita, I don't have to worry about emulation because it has the actual PSP. Like either it's an official emulator or it has the actual hardware.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's doing hardware emulation.
Yeah, also the same thing with PS1, where it has the emulator built in, but it's the official. So
Yeah, and I can't remember. I know there was the PS2 was the one where I know I played the most of any PS. But I know there was at least a couple PS1 games I played, but when I went back and looked at people's like top 100 PS1 games, I literally had a hard time finding games that I remembered.
like one game that I used to play on PS1 was Dave Meyer Freestyle BMX. You would never see that on anyone's top.
Oh man. This event was a pain in the butt the first time I did it.
I've
So
always had a great experience emulating PS1, even on the Pi 3. It seems like every game works great.
Actually, it runs better on the Actually, it runs pretty well on the Pi 3. Last time I've tried doing emulation there for the PS. Dave Myra is buggy, but that's mainly because Dave Myra Freestyle BMX is a buggy game. Did you know the Vita has a touch?
you said that, and after you said that, I do remember. The only reason I remember it is because there was another hardware manufacturer who was doing an Android thing where that's what they were doing. I want to say it was Asus was planning on putting on the back of the tablet a touch panel. So you didn't have to touch the screen. To me, it made perfect sense.
Yeah, I have to keep a microfiber cloth on me at all times if I have the.
I understand. Trust me. I always have one in my pocket. I always have one upstairs. But before thinking, Geek, yeah, before ThinkGeek sold out to GameStop, I actually bought 3 microfiber ties. So my tie is literally a microfiber.
Man, I wish I got one.
That's really smart.
Hell yes, I saw that and I said, sold. See, now why did it do this? I don't want that steering wheel control.
So I now have a HTC Vive.
That's VR, right?
It's like one of the high-end VR headsets.
Yeah, very high end.
Got it for the same price as the. It comes with the base stations and the
Right,
controllers.
2 controllers.
Last gen controllers, but it's
That's my biggest issue with VR. I have an HTC Vive, and there's newer headsets, but at the price, I just can't justify the upgrade.
the one I got. It comes with the last gen base stations and controllers, so I would have to upgrade to the new ones with the index controllers and the new.
Even then, that's like what, 300, 400 for the base stations and controller? Yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah. The one thing I always think about Google Stadia, I hate to say it like this, I don't think they care how successful they are in the next 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. I literally think that they really don't care. I think they are literally banking on every time Xbox or PlayStation has to go through a rev and software people have to recode all their games, it's an opportunity for game devs to be reminded, if you come to Stadia, you literally only have to code once, you never have to code again. Um, and I think, without that dumb, Google has enough money. I honestly think that they could lose money on Google Stadia for 36 months and still not blink an eye. Um, so I hate to say, I think that they're literally playing the long game with Google Stadia, where all they want to do is just remain semi-competitive, and then in a couple years make an actual move.
Oh yeah, the PS Vita has remote play, which is, and it actually works.
Yeah, and I will say about this forklift, the 2 controls this does not have, which I will say I learned to really like on forklifts, was to literally move the forks independently from the actual driving mechanism side to side. Doing that, I was able to really be like a really efficient and really tight with my forklifting at my job. The other one was to tilt forwards and backwards. With that, I was able to really manipulate pallets. I thought pretty good. Um, and don't get me wrong, I came close to killing myself and more than a couple people um, when I was on a forklift because it was for a state job, which meant we didn't have to be licensed or anything to do it, or we didn't have to have any training. Which, in hindsight, was not very smart.
Oh, okay. What did I miss?
Uh,
Why did you have to ride a fork?
well, it was my job. I worked in a warehouse for more than 5 years, and that was what I did. Was basically, loading pallets by hand and then taking those pallets, putting them on trucks, taking them off trucks, and it eventually got to the point where I would get in the 50-foot plus truck and make deliveries all over the state of Maryland. But it was the kind of thing in hindsight, whoever trusted me to drive a forklift and drive like a 50-foot truck, they're not very smart.
I just can't imagine you driving a forklift.
Without sounding dumb, I really enjoyed the technical challenge of doing it, but more than a couple times, those forks went right through a box and like shredded something that was worth money, you know? Yeah, because like I tried to explain to the one guy there, um, I'm legally blind in one eye. The other eye ain't great, which means I have no depth perception. So it's hard for me to tell how far something is away until I hit it. Then I know how far away it is.
Eyes might not work, but the ears sure do.
Yeah. And I finally figured out that red button on the bottom right. I thought that was horn. No, that's like quick stop, emergency brake.
Yeah, but VR is like I've tried Beat Saber, I've tried what else? I've tried
Yeah, I worry about VR just because I know I can't see. I technically see monovision. I don't have, you know, I never see out of both eyes at the same time. So I worry if I try VR, I'm just going to get a freaking headache. Because I know when I go to the movies and it's a 3D movie, the whole movie I'm just sitting there like an idiot. I don't see nothing in 3D.
what sucks about me is that if once the eye tracking technology becomes more mainstream, I won't do it because the eye tracking will probably cause me a
Mm, that's not good.
because my eyes move rapidly back.
Right. Oh, I gotcha. Hey, hey, Swift. This is from Google Play Pass. If it wasn't from Google Play Pass, I wouldn't have bought it. It's just called Drive Simulator. Uh, I'm only on like the third uh task in career mode, and I almost wish that these barrels would have the opportunity to blow up. But even if I get in an accident, they don't blow up.
Yeah, they missed an opportunity with that.
Well, there is, and I totally forgot. I knew he was going to turn left because I was coming around a corner. They will never give up the right of way. Um, they did miss an opportunity, but there is a sandbox mode which I've never loaded. I'm just doing the career path just to see all the different kinds of things. There is some heavy machinery operating going on too near the end. There's a bulldozer, forklift. Trying to think. There's more than a couple things. I believe I'm going to do an industrial crane. If not this next mission, the one after it. Where like you're at a loading dock with like car carriers, the trailers on tractor trailers. Oh, where am I going? I'm going to the wrong damn place. Well, okay, so I'm gonna come in here and make a U-turn because this guy won't let me pass.
Yeah, the main reason why I even got the PS Vita was for Persona.
Uh, I've never played any of those games, but my God, people talk so good about them.
It's the only console besides the PS2 that you can actually.
And the Vita version's the only one with the extra content.
Yep, Persona.
Yeah, Persona 5, I believe, just came out on the Switch, if I'm not mistaken.
No, not yet, at least.
Or was it that person is now a character in Smash Brothers or something?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I still need to get Persona 4 on the PS4, but the thing is that all the DLC and shit cost.
It's at the point where you should probably just wait because the definitive edition Royale's coming out here in March.
And also, there's the Project Diva games, which are on because I'm a big fan of the rhythm.
Thank you. Thumper. Thumper was the other game that's available on Google Stadia. But looking at that game, I'm thinking to myself, why in the hell is that game available on Google Stadia? It's a weird rhythm game, is what I'll say.
With a lot of fast moving graphics. I was going to say they must be pretty confident not to show artifacting while it's going on.
Well, that and the one guy from the actual architecture team said that game was the example of how they tried to develop minus lag, I want to say they called it.
Negative latency.
Yeah, where like they know there's only a certain number of things that can be shown in the next X number of frames. Okay, now we know what most likely is going to happen in these X number of frames. So let's just send you what we think you're going to do before you what you do. You know, it's one of those things. In a perfect world, it could make sense, but otherwise, it's like they're on hallucinogenics. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds way too gimmicky to me. Kind of sounds like they're just blowing smoke.
And also, the Nintendo Switch basically.
Yep.
Oh, it ate its lunch.
Yep, and then of course, like 2 months after Switch came out, Sony filed some patent things for a new handheld device, which of course looks a little bit like the Switch, but everyone's thinking that there's no way they're going to actually do it.
And they aren't. They already announced that they're not planning on doing a new handheld. Which sucks because the Vita was.
Well, they have among the best libraries ever.
Like, now I have to wait until, like, next year for the next project. Of which that's the rhythm games. Also, the Vita, internet-wise, is slow. Like, you're lucky if you get 2 megabytes down.
Well, what Wi-Fi is that, G?
I have
Even if you're using the Vita TV with Ethernet plugged in, you don't get much better connection. Like maybe double that than what you get on Wi-Fi with the handheld.
Yeah, one thing I learned about a forklift, as soon as possible, you get the load as close to the ground as possible. Just so if it does tip, it has less distance to travel. And if you're going up above like your head level, you wait to the last second till you bring it up to that level.
I'm not gonna lie. The more I've watched you play this, I get the appeal. It's pretty relaxing. I don't know if is the right word, but therapeutic just to go through this.
Yes, I think the perfect word, therapeutic. It's like meditation for people who can't meditate. This thing in reverse.
Actually, one of the songs that I play is called Clover Club, which is literally a song about making an alcohol.
Huh. Yeah, and if you see the game, I don't know if you can tell in here, like the distance blur, it's like perfectly in sync to where like the exact distance in front of me, the yellow line changes and then changes again. it's one of those little things that pretty annoying. Of course, he's going to turn left because he can't turn right.
I didn't notice it too much until you pointed it out, but yeah, now that's all I can see.
Yeah, then wait till I make this turn and you'll see it again. It's like perfectly always the exact same distance in front of me. Maybe it's one of those things it like knows my graphical capacity. Maybe if I had a better processor, better chip, it would draw further better. I don't know. Because I literally have it on the high setting.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Maybe, I mean, mind you, I'm just watching a video feed, but like it doesn't look choppy. It looks pretty smooth in terms of all the details and graphics.
Well, and this is a multi-year. I want to say it's a 4-year-old Chromebook, so it's not like it's a fresh thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's I want to say second generation Chromebook Flip. I'll say this, shockingly good for the age of it. I never want to show the ads, which I did already once by mistake. Because literally I've had takedown notices on YouTube before when I stream something and I'm showing somebody else's ad, which makes no sense.
Oh, you better watch out. You might not be commercially viable after December 10th.
I tell you, man, the only reason I stream on YouTube is because it's so easy. And it requires no brain cells whatsoever. Anybody can do it. I wish I could self-stream and not have it cost a fortune.
Yeah, I use Vanced and ad block, so I don't know what that commercially viable thing means for me. I hope that doesn't mean they're going to shut down my whole Google account for using ad blockers.
I don't think so. I think it's, and without that dumb, I think it's just them being
The thing
mouthy.
is, the thing is, the commercially viable thing. I think that was in their terms of service.
Well, we were talking about this before. I think the sheer amount of just content that's going on YouTube, they have to do something to get a handle on this because it's just infinitely expanding and it can't go on forever.
And a huge percentage of it is complete garbage.
Yeah, YouTube has gone downhill for.
They can afford to. They more or less have a monopoly on the market.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yeah, like I honestly know a guy who worked for Vimeo, setting up a lot of their back end infrastructure. Really super smart guy. And it's like, and I told him, I said, well, so what do you plan to do when you're done doing this setup? He's like, get the hell as far away as I can. He said, because I don't see that platform being alive. And it's not a bad platform. It really isn't. It's
It is
just
a very
nothing
nice
can compete.
platform.
Yeah, but it's like nothing can compete with YouTube.
Well, the funny thing is I've seen a lot of comments online where people are saying that theoretically Pornhub has the money and the resources to compete with YouTube.
Honestly, now that you say that out loud, can't say you're
Yep.
wrong. I saw what they on social media they were posting things basically taunting. Oh man, these bunch of YouTubers did a thing. Help donate to us. We'll plant 20 million trees or something. Pornhub did a thing and said, cute. We'll plant 1 tree for every 1,000 hours of people watching porn. And then literally like a couple hours later or whatever said, okay, we're done. We're now going to do 20 million trees. So it's like, it's comical. It's like comical how much, if they wanted to, they could. I don't know how they're not billionaires. If they're not. Hey, Red. Yeah, and I will say one of the things that I told my wife that really made her mad. Oh, made her so mad was Sweden, Finland, Sweden. was Sweden. Damn it! Now it might be Finland. That's one of the countries that she like has her mental go-to of countries that are doing it right, that are doing it fair. United States of America. I literally had to show her a couple articles, not just one, um, showing that the percentage of billionaires in Finland, no, Sweden, must have been Sweden, was literally higher percentage of billionaires than are in America. And she just was like, how this makes no sense. I was like, no, because what you don't understand is that country is actually more capitalist us. What the like all of the like stories you hear about them not being capitalist, that's from like the 60s. That's from a long time ago.
I think this crowd is too old for SpongeBob meme.
I just remember oh no, I can't remember his name. The no. Viking that they wouldn't stop talking about.
Oh.
Leif Erikson.
Oh yeah, Leif Erikson Day.
Yeah. And that's almost like
Yeah, if anyone has the money and the infrastructure to compete with YouTube.
yeah, and I mean without sounding dumb, somebody better. Somebody has to. Everything goes bad when there is a monopoly, and right now, only thing that even comes remotely close to I think getting at least attention or name would be like Facebook video. But
That makes me want to just go in a hole and cover.
right, but I think people don't even really know about it. More of just, well, they're there and they click and something works.
I think if Facebook were to release a video platform, they would have to remove the Facebook name entirely. There's so much negative connotation with Facebook.
Facebook is creepy.
Well,
Like, I created an account that has no ties to my actual names, and it's giving me recommendations for people
yes,
that.
because
They have shadow profiles.
yeah, well, not only that, they know shadow profiles. This is what I tried to explain to a guy at work. You're at home. He was trying to say that he was at home and he made a new account, and then he was shocked at how accurate it was for this new user. I said, dude, you're using the same IP address. There's already shadow accounts based upon your I like MP. 3 clicks into your adventure, they know, oh, you're that same guy. They're not stupid. People say about, how they always have the mics on and listen to stuff. Don't get me wrong. They listen to stuff. Also, shadow profiles are pretty damn good. They have a pretty good idea of who you are, or you can have an idea of what you're going to go towards.
Yeah, though I think it was mainly my mom that they had the show shadow file for, because I don't use.
You don't have to. Anytime you see a like button on a page, you have a shadow profile on your name. Because trust me, they know your mom does not click say stuff.
And this is an account that I made for my.
Yeah, Bruce, thanks for the rest of us. He's insistent he wants to help, kind of thing. I can't say no to anybody who says that kind of thing. Tell him, I said, look, I'd much rather have ways that can set barriers or systems up to engage people, yes, contribute code or whatever. And he's like, well, I can set up a Facebook page. I can like push content to that to try to get more download numbers. And I tried to say to him like offline, Bruce, I don't think Podnutz needs download numbers. I think we have enough download numbers. I said, also admit you're never going to hear any other podcaster say that, but I think I need more download numbers. I just think I need engagement. I think I need to communicate with people. People need to be able to communicate with me. I don't want 200,000 people downloading a show, and me not know who they are.
Yeah, the whole reason why I created the Facebook account is because I needed to automate Instagram.
Automation, man, and that's the other thing I tried to like explain to them. Automation is the key to everything. If this, then that, or Zapier, just that's all we need.
Yeah, and Facebook, they charge you for automating Instagram.
Yep.
Like, you have to pay like thousands of dollars just to become a partner, which you have to go
Which is really interesting.
like Zoho, like Salesforce social media or whatever their platform, and a bunch of other companies that do it. Speaking of, I need to start my subscription for Zoho Zoho because I post
Is Zoho still owned by Yahoo or no? I thought Yahoo bought them years ago.
Wait, I thought somebody just bought Yahoo recently.
Verizon maybe? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that sounds right. Something like that.
Yeah, Verizon bought them recently, if I recall correctly.
Well, it's the cheapest option to automate. Even then, it's still, I think, like $15 a month.
Well, that's worse.
What exactly do you mean by automate Instagram?
So I can set a post and I can have it set to automatically post to Instagram for me.
At like a certain time.
Gotcha. Because you said it costs a lot of money to do that for automatically through Facebook, which just made me wonder. I mean, it's all the same company, so I really wonder how much it really costs them to do that for you. They have to be making hand over fist for it.
It doesn't cost them much money. They just have to be a partner with Facebook,
Yeah, it's like
of which you can't be.
Right. They stopped that at least months ago. It's been a while.
Now, I thought there were certain apps and services that were essentially free where you make a post and it posts to like 5 or 6 different social media sites all at the
Yeah, but not.
Yeah, and they constantly break their apps
Oh,
that do it.
is it something to do with the APIs? Like they don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I imagine if they're doing that, any API you find is probably unofficial and hacked together.
Yeah, I want to say like one of the companies that has a problem with that is like Tweet keeps trying to prevent and keeping deals with companies to be able to do things, and I think they're having a hard time.
Yeah, though I've noticed that since I was using Zoho social media, my engagement has actually gone up.
That's good.
Like my last post, I usually get like 10, and my last post gets like now 20 plus engagement. Like, so likes pro. I haven't posted recently because I haven't had time to make edits in Photoshop.
Can never pass a car up on this street. Always makes me mad.
Also, on Instagram, you always have to have your phone. It's the best way to post your content.
Yeah, I keep thinking, one day I'm going to wake up. Literally, not figuratively. I think I'm going to wake up one day and like not care about stuff, and then actually like open up Facebook and actually be on Facebook and actually be on Instagram. Every day I just keep waking up thinking, no, I want nothing to do with those companies. And I just can't bring myself to do it.
Me and you both, Door. Like, I wish I could just wake up and not care. It must be nice.
I don't know. I mean,
I have accounts on most major social media, but I don't really check anything on a regular basis besides
I do like Reddit. Will not lie. I do like me some Reddit. And I just keep thinking, has to be, I don't know, some kind of change sooner or later. I think it's like a pendulum swinging. I offend anybody with the following, sorry, but we had Barack Obama as a president, and then the reaction from the populace was an extreme pendulum swing to the opposite direction. Just how this country seems to go. React to something until it's into a extreme, like 9/11, and then sudden, Patriot Act gets passed. And I don't know what it's going to take people to like care about privacy, care about what companies have access to them. I don't know what it's going to take. And I went the wrong way, long way around.
Well, I think a lot of people have just passively given up by this point.
Yeah,
I know I've personally given up on giving all my information.
Oh, it's worse than that. Talk to the younger generation. They're well aware that all of these companies are tracking their data, but they have decided not to care. It does not bother them at all.
they just take it as a matter of fact. Water is wet, is bright. They know everything about me.
Yeah, I mean, anyone I talk to, the defeatism is real. They just assume it's too late. There's nothing they can do, and I just don't buy.
Yeah, same here. And some of the mental gymnastics that I've heard people go through in conversations is just incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, the image that I guess posted in general is an example of what I would.
yeah. It's like I tried to say to my oldest the other day. We were driving down the street and the speed limit was 30. I was going about 30, between 30 and 35. And he was like, man, because he's 15 years old. So he's starting to notice driving things. He's like, man, why is that guy so close to your bumper? Was he some kind of jerk or something? And, no, he's not. I said, dude, you have to understand, everybody casts themselves as the hero in their own story. He's sitting there driving, calling me a jerk. I don't know how to drive. He's the good guy. And he's like, but he's not. It doesn't matter. In his head, he is. I said, nobody bad guy. Everybody thinks that they're the good guy and everybody else is the bad guy. And he's like, I don't understand that, Dad. And I was like, well, I would pull over and ask him if he thought I was being a jerk, but I'm pretty sure he would say yes.
Oh, I hate it when YouTube switches me out of my.
You're not commercially viable, bro.
Exactly.
Did you know Google actually allows you to use brand accounts for?
Hmm.
The issue is that you cannot upgrade the storage on said accounts.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Hey, if I ever need to do a brand account stuff, I just do it with my accounts.
Why would they say no to money like that?
Well, they're weird when it comes to money. Like the one thing I will say, I went through the Google Graveyard site. If I was listening to, I can't remember if it was Chrome Cast site or if it was Bet Scoop. Some of them are horrible punny names. They went through the Google Graveyard site and they could not find a single instance of a Google service cost money Google closed down. And that was when I changed my opinion on Google Stadia. Like, it doesn't matter if it's immediately successful or not, they are charging money for it, then someone in their office believes it might take a year, it might take 3 years, will be a viable to keep doing. And I went through that Google graveyard. I could not find a single thing that cost customers money, people money, and shut down. The closest I got was, oh man, I can't remember what it was. But there was something like tangentially.
Didn't Google Plus evolve to be something they charge?
Kind of. It's behind a paywall now.
It's behind G Suite.
Yeah.
I know that because I pay for 3 G Suite accounts.
And I'll say this: I don't think it's a good idea to have it behind a paywall.
Also, the reason why I pay for 3 G Suite accounts is one is my mom, one is myself, and one is the email that I use for my. Of which I can create as many emails as I want, which is I can just add them as aliases to.
Right. Yeah.
I just have to pay.
Right. And honestly, I hate to say it like this, but I am a firm believer. I am very okay paying for email just because then it means you have some control over it.
Can't you try and run your own mail server and see if it makes your ISP mad?
As someone currently running their own mail server, that's the least of your problem.
Yeah. Kind of spam. That is insane.
Door can attest to this. Just making sure someone receives an email that I send out is a lot of work.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to a enterprise guy at work today. Companies like Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, MailChimp, Constant Contact, companies very going on where they're trying to develop trusted circles mail. Trusted circle, basically mail will just get like black hole.
Yep.
To host your own means there's almost always somebody you have to then give over some, I don't want to say ownership to, some trust to. To get their trust, of course, is to give them money. So to do it like completely free out of your house, you technically can do, but man, you have to jump through.
It's because that's the thing. So email is really the one form of decentralization that's still actively used today, in my opinion. But you got companies like Google, and as he was saying, that are creating these trusted groups to where basically, since you have a Gmail and everyone else has a Gmail, and I'm not using Gmail, they want to make it so we can't communicate. I can if I message you some other way and tell you to check your spam. But I mean, how is that viable to when I'm just trying to send a random email off to someone?
Yeah, dare I say, it's like Prodigy and CompuServe all over again, which shouldn't happen. It should not happen. This is 2019. If you watched Valley at all last season, the last episode just happened. They always touched a little bit about the political side of this stuff. It's all like corporate greed on the back end.
Sounds like.
Yeah, they're definitely related. I'll say that. One's just more drama. The other one's just more comedy.
Oh yeah, Door, how caught up are you on Mr. Robot?
I want to say I might be 2 episodes behind. I know I'm at least 1 episode behind. Season, I'm so happy. Went back to normal king stuff. Blitzkrieg mental delusions of, weird these intros of TV shows and stuff.
Oh, I'm entire seasons behind on Mr. Robot. I didn't even start season.
Well, the first 6 or 8 episodes of season 2, it'll work through. But last like 4 episodes or whatever of season 2, they were pretty damn good.
I'm so glad that I kept up.
I still got to start season 3.
Season 3 started really good as far as I'm concerned. Just BD Wong, to me, I don't know who could be a better actor in that position. He just does that role, I think, perfectly. And I do like.
Well,
sorry.
No.
I was gonna say, and I do like the people they have hired as actors for the FBI agents. They just seem good.
I was just going to say, at least I have it all backed up on my net.
Tell you, I made this call like about 3 months ago. Who uses Plex? I hate to tell you, the end of Plex is near.
Yes.
It might take, but I'm pretty sure it's going to take less than 8 months. Where Plex is going to basically be dead. They're making a lot of deals with a lot of companies. Here, I'm pretty sure those companies are pretty soon going to tell me everybody on every with any copyrighted letters. Now they just changed their service up to where you can log in and for free with ads certain content. To me, that's like one step away from being like a full system where you can't watch any of your own material. You can only watch their stuff.
Yeah, my wife was the messenger of death on that. She asked me when I added all these extra movies to Plex. And then I come home and look at this. I went, oh man, I guess it's the end of me and Plex.
Hey, here's the bright side. I never had to deal with this stuff because I just keep my stuff on.
Well, I would encourage you to check out Streama, REAMA. Host your own server. You can create user accounts to your public-facing IP address. You can give other people access to it. So it's basically Plex with a little bit less polish is the way I'll put it.
This looks like the way to go. It's a little more lightweight than Jellyfin, just from what I'm looking at already.
Yeah, I played with it just a little bit, and I'm not going to say shocked. Performance, really good at performance. Good. This was definitely good.
It must be my hardware, but I was talking to you just recently about I tried to reinstall Plex and fire it up, and I didn't like the performance at all. It was pretty bad. I
Well,
guess it's the old Fire Stick.
Fire sticks, I'll say, are great. On the same network, you just use a browser and just go to the IP address. The only time I use the apps when I'm not inside the network.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that. And currently, what's working for me 90% of the time is the Samba share that's accessed by Kodi on the Raspberry Pi 3.
Yep, I was shocked. I was shocked how good of a performance I was getting from a Samba share Kodi. Sitting there thinking this makes no sense. Say with Plex, also, I don't want to say picky. It depends what codec you have it encoded in greatly. You have it encoded in what it considers to be a friendly format, you can get some really good performance where with Samba, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. The bandwidth with Kodi, it just works.
Yeah, and also Door with speaking of that, if you have your format in a format that only does software decoding, your performance is going to be
That
because I have content encoded in H.264 10-bit because anime has this weird issue where if you encode it in 8-bit, you'll get color banding. So they use 10-bit to mitigate that and still keep the file sizes low. There is no hardware decoding for 10-bit.
Huh.
yeah, that's the bottleneck I have on my end as well. Is anything in 10-bit just totally drops the ball.
Yeah, the only codec I've known to give me trouble is that I believe it's the H.265. Whichever one is CPU dependent, the Raspberry Pi cannot handle that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
sorry, I was going to ask, do you have your Pi hardwired?
No, I don't. It's Wi-Fi.
Gotcha.
I can try and run a wire over there, but there's already multiple wires running across this living room, so I don't know if we need another one going to the.
I mean, I know experience is all anecdotal, but I'm doing something which you're trying to do on a Rock Pro 64 hardwired, and I'm getting about the same performance that you're getting now.
Yeah, and that was the reason that I had gone back to Plex, because one thing that I noticed about Plex when I used it in the past, it helped with those codecs like 265 because Plex advertises that it'll do the transcoding on the Plex
Right.
server machine and then just.
Yeah. If you have a x86 server, a modest x86 box, even a 4-year-old, stream that to anything, including like a really cheap Amazon Fire Stick. But with it's like one side has to have at least some juice, some power, it seems like.
Yeah, my setup, nothing has power besides my cores, because my home server only has a single core AMD Athlon to low energy, running at like 2.8 gigahertz or something, or 3.8 gigahertz, I think. Or was it 2.8? I think. Also, the videos that I'm playing back have advanced substream
Yeah, it's at the point now when it comes to anime and stuff like that. I just pre-transcode it on my main machine and roll with however it puts it out, so it works better on Plex. It's not the best solution, but it's better than having it pause every 5 seconds. Right now, there's no particular one. Just in the past, anytime I've used it.
Yeah, I remember a while back on the mini PC show, Dor, you said something along the lines of the home theater PC is always a moving target. It seems like yeah, you're always tweaking something and trying to get something to work a little bit better, and you never have that 100% universal solution that's going to do.
Well, yeah, and then you have only care about their local. Some people only care about streaming live sports. And it's like I've never found any like one solution that's remotely close to catering to everybody. Yeah.
Then you have wingbats like me that only care about streaming.
Well, I mean, it could be worse.
Streaming over
I know a couple guys in Texas, they stream over microwave connections. So yeah, you want to talk about people who really know video codecs and really have to know their optimization? It's those guys.
I did not. I forgot the internet over microwave.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's literally line of sight to where if tree and foliages, their speed goes down.
And if I was in that situation, I got to that point, I think I would just take myself down onto the light.
Yeah.
Or 256 flash drive.
Well, and
Oh yeah, that's what I used to do all the time back in those days when I only had.
yeah, and I'll say all those guys also are the guys who still have the Netflix subscription where they get the physical disc.
My mom's
Yeah, and they abuse the crap out of it.
They're
Gets a boot-
probably
gets a-
giving red.
gets a DVD and then rips.
Yep.
That's literally.
Yep, that's all they do. Mail, open it up, put it in the machine, press a button, back in the case, send it back.
I imagine with shipping, it's faster than trying to download it.
Literally.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, and without sounding dumb, they've on more than one occasion a URL, like 120 gig flash drive in the mail, and said, "Here, do me a favor, download that to this." And it's like, yeah, sure, I don't mind.
I have done that with friends before where we wanted to just trade like a mass amount of like sample packs for music production and things like that. And we looked at the situation and we said, you know what, man, it cost me less than $5 to mail you a flash drive. I'm gonna mail you the flash drive, fill it up, mail it.
Right, just easier.
Like the max up speed that I can get is 40 minutes, and that's fast. Because that's the fastest Comcast offers, unless you go to their 2 gigabit.
I'm sure that costs a fortune.
They don't even.
Yeah, I think I have 10 up.
I don't know.
200 down and 10 up.
You know what's funny? It's probably easier for me to go into Boston, go to this hotel that I know, and just sit on their Wi-Fi.
I believe it.
Like they get like at least 200 down, and like.
One of the big ISPs in North Carolina is Spectrum, and my dad is on this plan it's 1.5 meg, but it only costs $25 a month, and it's grandfathered in from before they became Spectrum after their merger or whatever, and they are trying and trying to get him off of that thing.
I bet they're losing money.
I told him keep it forever. I said,
That's
better
a deal.
keep that thing as long as you can. In this area, it's mostly the Spectrum AT&T duopoly setup.
Right.
That's what we have as well, except there's this little company called WoW that slides in right in our area, and they have the most affordable gigabit out of all three of them.
Oh, is that like a local co-op or something? Is it one of those situations?
Kinda. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, here big boys, Comcast and FiOS.
Same. I have this.
Still feelings for Comcast. FiOS could double my bill, and I still don't think I would go to Comcast.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of terrible things about Comcast.
I haven't had bad experiences with Comcast yet, but I probably will.
I mean, I just had them for so long through all their customer service woes. I have more than a couple friends that work for Comcast, and they swear they're as nice. They try to do a good job. I believe you, but I'm still not giving your company any money.
Well, it's never the employee's fault. It's the money men at the top.
Yeah. Something because it maximizes profit, not anything else. And I'll say one trend I hate with American companies is caring less and less how long you've been a customer. All they care is a new customer.
Oh God, that whole thing. Believe me, I just went through that one too. We literally had to cancel the internet just to set it up in a second person's name to get the quote unquote discounted pricing for the new customer. The whole thing becomes a charade.
Yeah, it's like
My mom has her internet not.
Yeah.
Like the cable guy, when they were setting it up, told her to use a.
My kid's name just so get that new.
Well, one thing. Oh, I was just gonna say one strategy I've heard of is if you live with your spouse, what you do is you just keep switching between you and your spouse. You do a year, then your spouse does a year after you cancel, and rinse and repeat.
That's what we used to do.
Yep. Here's one complaint I have about this game. They never completely, nor do they have people play the game as long as I play it, because load up career mode in the beginning. You've completed all but one task. So basically, every time you load the game, you have to sit here and scroll close to the end. You have to keep scrolling if you've already beat all these levels until you get to the end. And it's cross and have it go. Unbelievably painful. And I will say, I think in real life, people drive even worse on the airport. Like me.
Oh, getting to drive the stair car.
Yeah, it's like they do try to change it up. Different vehicles, different types of vehicles. Game to be just different enough for games like this, Steam and stuff like this on Steam. Find trailer simulator kind of construction.
I bet we could find something if we looked hard enough.
Well, tried the keyword stuff. Here, buried really deep And I did not check like anything like GOG or any of those sites out. It's not a, spectacular game. It's a generic game. Yeah.
There
The only part of the game I insist watch. Wait a couple seconds just so people are listening. Watch, because this will show you the level of effort to this game, of stuff in this game. Just watch. This is fantastic.
It's like they just told the joints to move up 45 degrees back and forth.
Of course, they just disappear. You know, but then I still play the game. And I tried this view for a while in this view. And I cannot see work. But the same token, you are missing a lot of action around you. And it's really hard to line up stuff, I will say that.
Oh yeah, I was able to play what's it called, Project Cars in VR using an app.
Why am I moving? I didn't even hit a button. Oh man, this is even more awkward. This thing doesn't even have any side mirrors.
I like how the steering wheel doesn't move when you turn.
Of course it doesn't. Goodness.
Imagine doing something like this.
I don't know how well that will end up, is what I'll say. Level complete. Every single mission, XP, every single mission. I was like one mission from the end or two from the end. I wasn't even close to being maxed out. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, maybe in sandbox mode, if you do something, you can max out. I don't know. Data caps. Depends on where you're at. If I have a cap, what it is, and I'm terrified to find out because there's no doubt I've done more than 2 terabytes stuff. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Once a data cap enters your area and it becomes the norm, it's probably next to impossible to get it out.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying in the chat, a lot of the time what they do is the regular consumer plan or whatever you want to call it will have a cap, but they'll have some more expensive way for you to pay to not have a cap. It might cost
Right.
double, but they'll have a way to do it.
Right. If too many people go over the cap, to easily kind of thing.
Well, from my understanding, data caps have nothing to do with actual network traffic anyway. Data caps are just there to scare people into not using the internet so they can oversell their bandwidth.
Data caps is much you leave on your end, count how much they send on their end, which means they can basically insert any number they want to prove that they're wrong.
Oh gosh, I remember Rich just went through that with all the filing of FCC complaints and that whole story.
You can complain all you want. They don't care. You have to get somebody else to complain to them. That's the only way they're going to even acknowledge you're live. And it took a while. It took at least like 6 weeks. And all his hardware, basically his local hardware was failed. Gave him like some kind of it wasn't a discount on his bill, but they credited his bill some amount. And he was like, well, I think I deserve more. Don't hold your breath, brother.
With the
Well,
current FCC, I'm surprised he got that.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, the COPPA laws now in YouTube.
Yep. Happy about that.
You are?
Because it's making them adhere to standards that they actively. They never said who it was. Speaking to Mattel company, how they have more information on kids than anybody else who's ever existed. So if they get, fine them. And it did turn out to be the largest fine ever, which of course equates, oh man, I can't remember, it was like 15 minutes worth of profit from Google for a year.
Wow.
Link.
Yeah, but the fallout because of it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
all the fear and all the FUD about it.
the only fallout I see is now when I go to post a video stream, it asks me, see.
Yeah, but with content creators, a lot of people are now taking down their content because they're scared of what will happen if they don't.
And I hate to say it, I'm almost happy at that. My kids watch on YouTube, it is so scummy. It is stuff where I know if I was sitting there with my kids, then watch it. And, my kids don't know no better.
And that comes back to that same conversation about YouTube is just going crazy and they're trying to rein it in, but how much can you really do?
And dumb. Because if they try to rein it in like too hard, they're going to break their arms. So they want to do it. They don't want to be too, forceful because, they're making money. But I mean, if you take a look at like their 2019 year in review, proof that Google does not understand their own platform is like a joke, and the people involved with it hate it.
Well, I heard the same news that you were referring to about executives bragging about how much info they had on kids, and that seems particularly scummy, more scummy than any content that's on YouTube.
now. Damn it. He used to work for Google. He used to be the guy who was like one of the main guys in charge of figuring out people who were Google bombing them and like working the like 4 years ago or so he worked the federal government with digital. He was a really smart guy when it came to, you know, all these kinds of Google really needs to like be careful. Even though, you know, they're still sitting on the boards, they're still majority.
My issue with COPPA and them enforcing it is that they're going to put machine learning algorithms in place.
Because they have to. I mean, every like what it is, I can't remember what it is now. Every
Well,
Lost them, boys.
They got
quick,
'em.
someone bring it. And
His stream hasn't gone down yet, though, so it's not like his internet went out.
must have disconnected from.
Yeah, I think something similar happened earlier because I feel I have the volume up on his stream.
Yeah, it happened when.
But are you guys getting any sound on his stream?
I had him muted. Let me see.
On my Fedora laptop, I actually have this weird bug where YouTube will have like a white stripe on the right side when I like it's a single pixel.
I mean, I feel like this is an unhelpful thing, but like that just sounds like Xorg not knowing what to do with a full screen application. Is it just YouTube?
I'm
Well,
using
okay, Wayland. Okay, then yeah, that's a whole other set of problems. I don't know.
Andy.
Yeah, can't hear him yet though.
matches.
Welcome back.
So mic not working. It looks
Oh,
like I'm
there we go.
streaming there. So where wasn't it working?
Like the past.
Here in Discord, because on my OBS it looked like I was
Discord. You just.
Yeah, you got disconnected from Discord, and then we couldn't hear you on the stream either.
because I know when I tried to record Discord, when the podcast went over an hour, it didn't kind of like it.
Yeah, I noticed in Linux Discord, if you keep it up too long, it'll just straight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a little bit too much fun on the forklift.
Wait, is that the same 495 that we have up? What the?
Oh my.
Today's the day I'm gonna die.
Oh my god! I'm so glad I. You must be. Is there any law that says you can't? Oh yeah, just. I wouldn't want to be.
Wow, the timing on that was perfect.
Okay, who has? Let's start a party
Man,
here.
I've been in his situation where Discord just doesn't want to stay open in a voice chat while I'm trying to do something. It's the worst.
Yeah, I've only really used the desktop version. I hardly use the app.
Oh, is he using the app?
Is he on his?
Yeah, I believe he's on his Chromebook, I think.
That's interesting.
And he's not using the native app.
Right, I think that he is logged into Discord through Chrome, maybe? I mean, that's judging by some of the screenshots I saw way earlier.
I was gonna say I don't know. I can't speak for the Chromebook, but his audio sounded pretty good. And I noticed there's an audible difference if it's coming through the Electron app versus the web browser, just in my experience.
Yeah, I've never tried to use Discord through a browser. I use the dedicated PC client.
Your mic's lighting up, but we can't hear you. Or at least I can't.
It should be better now.
There we go. Okay.
I
That's
literally had to like force kill Discord, which is not good. I mean, all the money I pay. Oh wait, and that's one thing I will say I cannot believe. When I saw all this Discord stuff where they're basically propositioning me to pay them money to help promote my Discord server. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, who the hell looks at that and says, you know, I think I need to give Discord some money.
I pay for Discord and
I used to pay out a principal of supporting a company that I was using a service for, but I wasn't gaining any.
I gain higher upload limits than I pay for because I like uploading my my artwork, and to do that, I have to pay because when you're sending raw DDG files, they're like 20.
Yeah, see, I didn't notice any slowdown. I will say I noticed that when I created another account and I just searched for Podnutz, Podnutz never showed up in a single search result. So I was kind of like confused. Well, why the hell did I make a server? And then I stupidly figure out, well, everybody who creates an account is invited to create a server. Like, everybody doesn't need a server. The hell?
They just join the
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know about you guys. Some of the servers that I have joined in the past, I just can't literally keep up with. There's too much activity going on.
Just mute 'em.
Door. I'm in exactly 100.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, you like Discord servers like Door likes podcasts.
Yeah.
I used to be.
I don't keep up with like.
I mean, I'm in like 10. I'm not in 100.
I think I'm in like 6. And I will say one thing, to me, the main reason to be in more Discord servers is just to see what other people are doing, to see if they work for you. Like one of the things I think I added was a self-promotion thing here in Podnutz. Yeah. Self-promotion. It's where quite literally, if you guys do anything and you guys want to post a link to it, I don't care, put it there. That's what it's there for. I saw that on at least a couple other channels, and I thought that was a good idea. So hell, I'll do that.
Doesn't help me out because no one here would be interested in.
Doesn't matter. The whole reason to do the promotion is not for you to tell us to go see it, but for you to post something, and I could say, oh, well, you know, Dave at work mentions this. He might think it's cool, and share the link. The other thing, was what was it? Oh, the how to Discord. I saw that in somebody else's chat, and I thought that's a really smart thing to do for people who don't know about the service.
That's a quality URL there.
I own that, and I own Dang and Cause. Each one cost me 20 a year.
That ain't bad.
But no, I agree that we didn't call it that when I had a server, but the How to Discord server is really good for just testing out commands and stuff and getting familiar with.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, while it is reminiscent of like IRC, it's not like IRC.
Yeah, I like to think of Discord as like the next evolution of IRC.
Thing is, wasn't there supposed to be a next evolution of IRC?
I don't know. I mean, IRC still works.
Speaking of that, we just.
Hey, yeah, that's red. Yeah, I mean, without sounding dumb, I'm still a fan of IRC just because it works.
I have like 5 gigs worth of IRC logs in a C.
Right.
probably 6 gigs now.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of Mattermost. I still like the idea of Riot, Matrix. I hate to say it, it's all where people are at, and there are a lot of people on Discord, man.
Of which we haven't updated that Mattermost.
Oh, I know. Technically, it's still working.
Would be nice if we could afford a GetWeb server, because then we could just manage that, and then Mattermost comes included.
Right.
And no manage. But running a GetWeb server isn't cheap. It requires at least 8 gigs of memory.
Yeah, it's very resource intensive.
Wait, it's here? Yeah, okay.
I remember one of the things somebody was telling me about IRC is you can set up like an IRC bouncer, and then you can be in like 200 different IRC servers all at once and multiple channels for each server.
That's how I have like 6 gigs worth of logs in a. Is
Yeah,
because I Quazzle.
because when you log in, you log into the bouncer. You don't log into IRC, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, it's like a gateway. Yeah, and the thing I like about the gateway is you can say, if somebody says my name, log it just so the next time I hop in, oh, blah, 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 was asking about me.
Yeah, in my case, it just logs everything. Oh yeah, if you ever need history from the Podnutz IRC channel.
Oh no.
No, I think I'm good with that.
So note to self, don't go into Podnutz IRC when I'm really drunk.
I have logs from dead IRC.
Yeah, see here, I'm back at the main menu. I just finished the task and I hit career. I'm back at the very beginning. Every time. And there's no like, and I sat there and I literally tried for a couple minutes thinking, maybe if I tap career, maybe if I tap the shield, maybe if I tap this bar up here above vent insulation. No, you literally every time you got to scroll, scroll, scroll. And every stage gets further and further away. Well, that just means that's just proof that they didn't dog food it. They didn't actually test anything.
Oh yeah, one of these days I'm going to a Miku at. Anyone know who had?
Can't say I do.
Yeah.
You
A fake pop star.
that outsells real pop stars.
Well, anything to put asses in chairs, even if it's virtually.
Yeah, Miku is a synthesized voices, and there's producers that with it. And then there's Miku Expo, which is a concert, and you know how there was a concert with Tupac,
Yeah.
and they had the hologram. Yep. We've had that for like years, and that's how Miku.
Also, you're literally describing the plot of a recent Black Mirror episode. The one that they did with Miley Cyrus had some elements of that.
Vocaloid is the synthesization part is the synthesizer. And there's actually multiple companies that make this, but when people usually refer to Vocaloid, they refer to the Dawn ones, which is Hatsune Miku, Kagami, Rin, Len, Miyako, Kaito, and so I figured out why I was getting that white bar on the side in YouTube. If my window's maximized and I go,
If your window's maximized and then you go into full screen,
I get a small like white sliver.
huh? What's your window manager?
I'm using GNOME 3 and
Huh? So you think it's a Wayland thing, maybe?
I'm not sure. It doesn't happen all the
Intermittent problems are, yeah.
Oh yeah, do you hear about the new Mac issue where they can't even have audio ICs and they'll
No.
yeah, a lot of artists are really upset about that because of the chip and how it's encrypting your.
Huh? Nope, didn't hear that.
Another reason not to buy.
Well, how much did they say the Mac Pro is? Like, if you get it completely decked out, now it's $6,000. I want to say,
Oh.
And people will pay it. You know it. And you know the economy thanks them. And it's like I tell my wife, I don't go to casinos in the state of Maryland because I don't like paying voluntary taxes. So if anybody does want to buy a MacBook Pro, I like salute you. I thank you, because hopefully now with you spending that much money, that means I don't have to spend as much money to help everybody else. Yeah, like one thing that I don't get is the Librem phone people. They just announced the official American-made Librem phone, $1,999. And I'm thinking, what? The only people who I can see who would spend that money are literally people who just flat out want to support them, because that's too much damn money. I mean, how much money do you have that you can say, I'll spend $2,000 on a phone just to support them? I don't know.
I was talking to some people about it when that news story broke, and we couldn't figure out who it was for.
Saudi princes? I don't know.
Oh god, he said his first word. I use art, by the way. Oh man.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I have friends that use Arch. I think.
Well, I had a guy email me and told me Ubuntu was the most unstable system he ran, and he never understood what a stable Linux distribution was until he ran Arch. And I can't tell him he's wrong, but I told him, I don't think you're using Linux right.
By no means do I agree with what he was saying, but the only way I could find logic is if I do the mental gymnastics of he wanted the latest version of every software, so he installed PPA upon PPA upon PPA, and then got mad it didn't work.
Right.
I run Fedora, which is pretty cutting edge, but even then, like Arch, you've got to be out of your mind.
I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, perception is reality. And if you install this and you think it's stable, I just said to him, I'm pretty sure we have a different definition of stable. And then I said, you know, if you really want stable, you should go Debian. And he said Debian was the worst stability he's ever seen in an operating system.
Once again, probably going against the packages provided within the distribution.
I guess.
Yeah, I think he needs to replace the word stability. Has he?
No, but he is the guy I did suggest to look at. Oh God, what's it called now? Fedora, was it Blue?
Silver Blue?
Yeah. I told him to look at that. I said, because, this might like fit your need of like exploration plus Linux.
Yeah, the one where everything's.
Yeah, inside of containers.
I gotta go find this image.
Yeah. And it's like, on my desktop rigs down here for the studio, I like, my logic is I don't want to install a operating system for like every like 5 years. If I have to install an operating system in under 5 years, that means I like broke something. And like at work on Windows, I mean, I think the longest I've ever went with a Windows computer is like 18 months, because I'll break it. You give me enough time, I'll play with something, I'll install something, I'll do something that I shouldn't do, and I'll just cause it to break. So I'm happy,
I have successfully seen Windows 7 run for almost 10 years on at least one machine, miraculously.
That is one good user.
I'm lucky if I can get a Windows install the last five. Without having to
When I used Windows, regardless of how it was running for me, just for my own sanity, I just reinstalled it every 2 years.
Yeah, I've had Fedora running for at least 2 generations. So, like, yeah, I've had at least running since Fedora 29 to 31 and have issues. I've deleted the /user folder on my workstation once, and I was able to.
Yeah, down here, I want to say in actuality, the longest I've ran a continuous Ubuntu install down here is 6 years. That was with doing dist upgrades with no PPAs. Just running the same version, I want to say it's 4 years, 4.5 years. And it's because I don't install anything. You know what I mean? I just install what I need to install. Like every browser, Firefox, Vivaldi, Chrome, Brave. I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one. LibreOffice. No Opera. No Opera here. LibreOffice, OBS, the capture card software, Steam, and then there's like one or two little, and then that's it. I don't install anything else on the main streaming computer, and then on my main rig down here, I do install a couple more things, but I have everything mirrored to where if that computer dies, technically I could stream a show, and it would be about the same.
Yeah, my thing is that I have a bunch of different software installed. Like, I have development tools installed so that I can compile stuff.
Right.
Because I like playing NetHack, and to do the graphical tiles, you have to compile it. Has anyone ever tried spinning up a VM inside a VM inside a VM and continue nesting it?
Yep.
How did that end?
Back when I tried it with VirtualBox like 5 years ago, it just everything got slow. It was like the clock speed could not like stay at a rational state. It would like just crawl.
Because that's how you spin up the XKCD develop.
I was gonna say I don't know how familiar people are with programming terms, but I assume that's like running going through an array in a for loop and then inside another for loop inside of another. Like it gets to a point where you're breaking down each cycle. Like
I code in Python, so I know exactly. Like the most depth of a for loop that I've ever had to rationally go to.
Yeah, but that's not the an important question. The important question is, do you use tabs or spaces?
I set my tabs to be 4 spaces.
Spaces because Python. And anyone that says otherwise.
Yeah, I guess to be fair to answer that question, I use spaces, but I press the tab button.
Anyone that uses spaces and presses the spacebar button is out.
They're suicidal, is what I'm going to say. Yeah, that was one of the things. Like Silicon Valley season 2 or 3, I can't remember what it was. The main star broke up with his girlfriend because she insisted that everyone should use spaces.
Oh.
And I just remember watching that show, just like almost like peeing my pants laughing, because I remember back in the day talking to people about, well, yeah, you just tab. What's wrong with you?
Oh, you know what I need to get? I need to get the SKE book.
Right.
What's funny is I actually know places where I could get that as a. Next time I'm in Harvard Square, I could probably.
Yeah, and I just got to say real quick, I'm almost sad that Silicon Valley is over, because I'm a really big fan of Idiocracy, the movie, which the same guy did both.
Yeah, I didn't even know the show was ending.
I love how they're both used.
I didn't even know the show was ending until it said the final episode of Silicon Valley, and I'm like, oh, I guess this show's over for me.
Yeah. Well, the guy said, you know, he wanted it to end on his terms. He said it isn't that I'm bored with it. He was like, but I don't know how much of the story that we can tell. And he was like, I really do just want to move on to other things, kind of thing.
God. Oh yeah, she presses this.
Yeah. Not many shows, in my opinion, have series ending episodes that are any good. A huge amount of the things I've ever seen in my life, the series ending episodes are just not good. I'll say the exclusion of the rule I keep hearing from everyone was Breaking Bad. How it's
I was
ending.
just thinking that.
Right.
I still need to watch.
Right, but like except for that show, there's really not much that ended well, is what I'll say. I will say Silicon Valley ended utterly appropriately, is what I'll say. Some people might not like it, but it ended, to be honest, how it kind of should have. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to give away any like spoilers to anything, except in typical fashion, they got everything they deserved.
Now you just make me want to watch this last episode more.
Well, I just, if you do, I just ask you, hold off till the very, very end. Very, very,
Gotcha.
very, very, very end. Because just when you think it's over, there's like another minute and a half, and then there's another minute and a half, and then there's another minute and a half. And I'll say the one person I know who's cussing at themselves was the actor of Eric Bachman.
Oh yeah, because he left a few seasons ago.
He left like 3 seasons ago because he said he's moving on to bigger and better things. You know, this like small time TV show thing he got tired with. And last I heard, he was in a federal prison for giving a fake bomb threat. Yeah, he was on a train in New York City, and he wanted to get back at his girlfriend or something like that. And he knew she was on the train in front of him, so he called up a fake bomb threat. Yeah, I never said he was smart. Damn it.
Yeah, Silicon Valley is another one of those shows that I just have in the backlog on the NAS.
Right.
I've watched like the first episode.
Well, and I have no problem saying it's a acquired taste kind of thing. It's not for everybody. Um, it's definitely like weird out there. And more than likely, if you're easily offended, oh, you will be offended by something in the show. That was another task I always got to restart because it doesn't do it right. And I almost never, ever, ever take this Chromebook battery down this far because literally it gets like 10 hours worth of battery life.
But that video that I just posted, it's amazing what you can do with YouTube sub. Like those subtitles are fully stylized.
Ah, gotcha.
Good. That means when I use YouTube DL and put them in my MKV file, they'll look pretty as well.
You know, my question is, what has been your best experience with YouTube DL?
What do you mean by best experience?
Well, I
Like,
mean, like to me, it depends on the operating system that I'm running, the version, and then it depends on where I install it from. I get completely different experiences.
oh,
Well, YouTube DL is a Python package.
yeah. So that's the thing. If you're going off the repos, odds are you're getting an old version. So then your next jump is to do a pip install of YouTube DL, and then you're going to run into issues of it complaining it not having permissions to put it in root folders. So then what you do is you pip install dash dash user, and that puts it in your home folder that you can call it. But then from there you run into the issue of updating. It's kind of a pain.
Right.
Um,
I just create a Miniconda environment.
so then you can do that, but then you run into that being overhead. What the solution that I have come to is, and this goes for any time I install a application that runs from the Python package index. If you use what's called pipx, um, I'll link it here in a second. Pipx basically is really good at creating isolation environments for these different Python packages and making it easy to update them as if it's its own little separate package manager, if that makes sense.
Huh.
That's been where I've had the universal success across the board for YouTube DL. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other downloader things I use for like SoundCloud or Bandcamp or whatever, and those seem to run pretty well. PipX has seemed to be the way to go for me, at least so far. I imagine there's probably something better, but PipX is what I've had the most success with.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I've had some success with I'll put it like this. I've had what I consider surprising success using Snap.
I didn't even think of there being a snap of it. Yeah, that would have because your goal is to be able to have YouTube DL and have it being able to update as soon as an update drops and to be able to update easily.
Right, having it as fresh as possible. Because I tried to explain.
Also, I wonder if there's a Flatpak.
Oh, there should be if there's not. I tried to explain to a guy at work how YouTube, when you say YouTube, it isn't just YouTube. There's literally like 5 different types of formats, at least I know of files being hosted on YouTube, and YouTube DL doesn't work for all of them. If you have like no subscribers and you have a brand new channel and you upload a video, I've never had YouTube DL work on that video. If you're paid content, of course, you're gonna have a hard time with YouTube DL working on that as well. But it's like, when I did the Snap package, I'm not gonna say I had the most success. I'll just say I had really good success.
Another thing is I also come to realize I get more of what I want by having a proper YouTube DL config file. That seems to give me make sure I get the language I want, the quality I want, it when available, and subtitles when available in the language that I want.
I've noticed that the YouTube downloads on the mobile app, the subtitles will get dropped from your
Well, and I will say on mobile, I was shocked. For at least a couple months, I ran. Of course, it was from F-Droid. I want to say, Avid. Oh man, there you go. Finally, AVIDD on my Android device. I was shocked at how well I could put a YouTube clip in it. It would give me a whole bunch of choices on options and formats of video or just audio, and click download, and it worked. I did that for a little bit while I was trying to get YouTube DLG working on a couple boxes down here. For some reason, after time, they just broke.
Yeah, my issue is that I keep a lot of vocal and music downloaded on my phone, and YouTube on the regular YouTube app, it'll drop the subtitles that you download from the videos. And you literally have to read down.
Yeah, that seems to line up with like every video streaming service where I've manually downloaded a video. Whether I get to, officially download the video, whether I get to keep the subtitles or not, always seems to be a mixed bag.
Netflix is because Netflix, I've never had that.
Okay, I'm gonna run upstairs real quick. Put this on the charger.
Yeah, Netflix is the exception because they have content that you have.
True. True. I guess I've never had issues with Netflix. Hulu, I know I have, and YouTube. I haven't tried Disney Plus yet in terms of downloading for offline viewing, but yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, like literally, I have to go and re-download my Volcoin play. Also, that video that I just posted, that has really good stuff. Like their color, their orient, and
So it's like watching some fan subs from like 6 or 7 years ago.
I actually love fan subs, especially.
Catching up on my bookmarks. A lot of good things to bookmark tonight from this conversation.
So I guess that's a good question for you guys. How do you find yourself saving links nowadays? Like I know bookmarks are tried and true, but I used to be a big fan of Pocket until I don't know. I looked for open source alternatives. Now I'm on Wallabag, And I really like it because instead of having bookmarks and folders, I like having these links with specific tags. So when I open it up, I can say I'm looking for all my Python links, and it just shows me all my Python links that I tagged.
Okay, I just found an anime that I don't know what.
So I guess when you say that you add them to your bookmarks, do you just have a bunch of folders within folders?
Yeah, pretty much. I certainly don't do anything fancy. I'm a very disorganized person anyway, and my strategy is basically just dump everything into Firefox and just keep backing up the Firefox profile.
Gotcha. No, I totally understand that mindset. I've just anytime I can tag something, I'm a big fan of just tagging it, and I haven't found a good way
I-
to tag bookmarks yet.
Yeah,
For me, I have literally no way of
yeah. See, what I do, I use bookmarks and taggings for show note stuff. I use a combination of Git Pocket, if this then that, and Google Drive right now to where like anytime I find a link, um, and and I want it for a show, I literally bookmark it with Git Pocket, set a tag to it. If the tag is Android, Mini, Linux for the rest of us, DDG, they go to separate spreadsheets, and each spreadsheet gives me the user who submitted it, so I can have multi users on the same spreadsheet, the date, time, the title, the summary, the tags submitted to it, a preview image, and a URL to the actual file. And I don't want to say that's the best I've came up with. I don't want to say it's not for historical purposes, because honestly, what I do then is then I review every single link I ever do, and if it's good enough, I force myself to bring it to a show. So then my logic is, if I want to find something, I mean, to that sound dumb, it's the whole reason I started podcasting, was I could then go and say, I know I talked about this on Linux for the rest of us. So then we just go to Podnutz, go to the top, and type these 2-word searches, and it's always within like the first 2 or 3 returns.
I like that a
Actually,
lot.
speaking of Podnutz, there was an episode on Podnutz where I left a voicemail back in like the 8th.
Okay, I don't know which episode that could be.
It's one of the early Linux for the rest of us
Oh,
episodes.
it sounds bad.
I was using Linux on a C.
Gotcha. And I'll say this link here from you, Rain. I did not know you could set this default stuff up with YouTube DL.
Yeah, this isn't the best way about figuring out your configuration, but since this is the official documentation, I figured I'd share it. If I can dig up my config, I might post that too, because I think I added comments and stuff to make it a bit more readable. But the
Gotcha.
big thing I took from this was being able how you can save the videos. Like instead of having the title and then the tag at the end, you can make it drop the tag. You can add in all other little fancy things if you want to put like the date you downloaded it or whatever.
Yeah, and I will say, release date. I know one of the videos, I can't remember what series it was, I downloaded an entire playlist, but no matter how I downloaded it, it would not number it right. So I figured out if I did release date as the first part of the name and I sorted by that, that was the only way I could get the playlist to come out right. Oh man. Trying to think.
I haven't used YouTube DL at all, but I like the idea of installing it as a snap because I feel like that's something that I could handle.
I don't like the Snap platform, but that's mainly because I don't like Ubuntu.
Which is fine.
I was gonna say, yeah, I get you. I like the idea of taking the Python package and bundling up into something a little more user friendly. is the way I'll put it.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell you, like, to me, let me see if I can find the actual proper link for this damn thing. To me, like, one of the big things that I try to like do with my kids, they watch such garbage. I found at least no, where the this link? Let me think. This might be the good link. I guess this is a good link. Um, this link here, crash course navigating digital information. I literally forced my kids to sit with me and basically watch each one of these episodes. There's only 10 episodes. We did it over like 2 or 3 weeks because I just wanted them to like understand how you you cannot just believe everything that's out there. And I know if I say it to them, I'm just some big dummy. So I made them sit there and watch this whole series of videos with me. And because like without sounding dumb, like 10 years ago or so at work, I remember my boss came to me and said, Steve, um, we started doing like metrics on all of the people's activity, and we have like 3,000 employees, and like you're the number one bandwidth user in our administration. I'm like, yeah. She's like, and you're like on YouTube. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what are you doing on YouTube? Um, Learning how to do my job. So it's like, I firmly believe that there is really good stuff out there on YouTube. You might have to find it, but I do believe it's all out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of garbage on YouTube, but it's also a great platform for learning pretty much anything you could ever want to learn.
Yeah. And I'll say, unfortunately, you got to find it because it ain't always just like right there. So, are we streaming right? I don't think the stream is working right. So, I'm going to guess it's this one over here.
My issue was I killed Paul.
And back in here. Does the bounce meter move? The bounce meter still doesn't look like it's moving. Wow, OBS doesn't look like it's reacting. This is not a good night for stability. Yeah.
Also, another reason why I use Flatpak is because they have my favorite visual novel available as a download that's actually maintained.
To be honest, I run both on my system.
Yep, I've used both. I've used Flatpak and Snaps, depending on what I need.
I'm pretty sure this Discord is a Snap. I mean, it's so integrated. I
There's
don't
one
know.
as a Flatpak as well.
I thought they had an app image as well. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think the download is an app image. Of which I use the download because it works better. Actually, no, I'm on my work laptop. I use this Flatpak, I think.
This playlist is really good, Door. I'm gonna save this. I think I might show this to my kids.
Well, the other one they have, I think, is really good. Is Big History, where they basically like try to go back to the beginning of time and just summarize, in air quotes, 13 billion years, or they try to just summarize everything, and they like point out how it's kind of pointless to summarize everything, but we're gonna summarize everything. World history, all was decent. U.S. history was, I thought, amazing. Not a history guy at all. I am not a history guy whatsoever. Their U.S. history was actually like intriguing to me.
So this has been the Christmas song that I've been listening.
Huh? Yeah. Well, that's not politically correct now. Weird Al Yankovic's "Christmas at Ground Zero." Let's just say that was recorded during a different time. Yeah, there was a couple songs he recorded that I said to the wife, "You're never going to hear them again on like public radio." Can't believe I have a work phone.
Yeah, you're never gonna hear this on radio.
No, like maybe 40 years after 9/11 you might, but no time soon. So yeah, my OBS.
Though I don't know how anyone could think that this is singing about nine.
Well, people are dumb. Yeah, my
Like he's specifically talking about new.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm looking at my OBS and it's visually completely locked up. Which I will say this, I should have known was going to happen because when I did the one transition earlier, I remember it all just acting completely wrong. And I completely it completely slipped my mind. So let me see if this will work. I just replugged in the Magewell, Magewell USB capture card. So I will say the damn thing works really good under Linux. I'm not going to say it works perfect. It works pretty damn good. But no, OBS is still locked.
I love this one the song, but if someone's climbing down your chimney, better load your gun.
Yeah. The other song that's completely incorrect was
The day Santa went crazy or something.
no, back in the USSR. I want to say it was something with US
Yeah.
it was guns in the USSR. Oh man. Cannot remember.
Back in the USSR is the
Yeah, but no, theirs was a Beatles. This was not a Beatles. There was a oh man, Beach Boys. His was a Beach Boys ripoff of California Girls. Wish they all could be. Where he talked about shooting them up. What is this?
Was it Cinnamon Girl?
No, sorry. Second.
Also, I also love his video. Smells like.
Yeah.
Because he actually got the exact same extras for that music.
Oh yeah, he did a lot. He got a lot of authentic stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know he pulled that off more than once.
Yeah, and I will say I'm not a big fan of Trigger Happy. That's what it's called. Where he's already talking about shooting people. Trigger Happy. Which was from the 1992 album Off the Deep End. And I'm not like a big live guy, but I can tell you his live show was literally like entertaining from like beginning to end.
He's one of the few people I've always wished I could see live.
Well, and the thing was, it wasn't expensive. I was shocked at how it was almost reasonably priced. I want to say it was like $35 or $45 a ticket, which I would have figured it would have been like 80.
Miku Expo is like $75 for the base. Just to see someone that isn't.
Well, it could be worse. You could be seeing Tupac, who's dead. Which I'm sure in like 10 years, people will even pay even more for that crap. What I can't believe is we see back in the day, we didn't have technology. Now it's making more sense. Back in the day, we didn't have technology. That's why we had Elvis impersonators. Because we just couldn't do it. This was, I think, one of the most.
I love how the album art for that is just a parody of the Nirvana.
Oh yeah. With him butt naked in a pool.
How much did that run your door?
More than I care to pay. I'm cheap. So I want to say it was $290.
Oh my!
What was 200?
This USB HDMI capture, and it's because this driver is in every Linux kernel going back to, I want to say, 2014 or 2015, and supposedly it's not going to fall out of support until like 2023. And all it is just HDMI on one side, USB on the other. Yeah, and it supposedly will go up to 4K. 4K, 60 frames a second, blah, 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 blah.
And it's USB 3?
Yep.
Kind of has to be. You don't have enough bandwidth on.
Hey man, you can buy some weird devices.
Yes, you can. And I was warned by reviewers to only use the highest quality cable for USB 3 or else. Yeah, that's fair. Fine. That just means I go to like mono price and buy like the the $4 kind instead of the $3 kind.
Love monoprice cables.
Oh yeah, I mean, cables and mono price cables are the only two I try to buy.
Yeah, Anchor.
Now I'm terrified to see how much this costs now because I'm sure it's not as much.
Oh, that one was running 300 when I looked it up on Amazon, but I didn't want to link to an Amazon link.
Well, then I feel better because I want to say I paid like $280, $290 on sale.
Also, with that device, does it strip?
I want to say the way that they verb it is it's HCP compliant, which means no, will not get rid of.
So you need to buy a splitter.
And that's what I'm looking at now. I'm looking at, but here's the thing: all the splitter boxes I'm finding are literally like $16 to $20, and I don't know if I trust them because I keep thinking for $16, $20, I mean, how good can it be?
And that's the thing. How long does it last? I mean, it might work with the current devices now, but then device X comes out, which has a whole other standard of it, and it doesn't comply with it.
Right. Actually, this says it does not support HD. Okay, first off, let me point out that this does not support this is a reviewer. Does not work with Linux. Oh, does work with Linux, good quality video capture. This does not work with HDCP. You will need an HDMI splitter that strips out. With that said, definitely works with Linux, the machine I use. He's trying to tell me, if I read this right, if I try to use this with a Nintendo Switch, it will not work.
I find that, I don't know. I have this cheap cheap Chinese version of that, right? And I can hook my PS4 and switch up to that just fine. So I would be more surprised if your device doesn't let you do that.
That's what I would think.
Have you tried playing Blu-rays through?
I don't have a Blu-ray player.
I was gonna say I have like one disk drive in the house and it's not hooked up.
No, what I mean is, like, I have a Blu-ray drive as well. The only way that I can play Blu-rays. But what I mean is, if you try playing Blu-rays through the PS4, it will not show up.
Hmm.
Because of H. Hell, you can't even remote stream Blu-ray.
Right.
Also, one of the games that I have, the music gets cut off because of the Project Diva games. They mute the music when you stream or record it. So, in order to stream it, I have to use PS4 Remote Play on my laptop on this,
Right.
and then broadcast. I can't just use.
Okay, I'm gonna put this, and I did not know this was on Vimeo. This actually makes me feel better. Put this link here in the Discord. I can't put it in live stream because I can't change my video over. If you are at all remotely a fan of the original series of Star Trek, guarantee you watch this, you will like this. Only 10 episodes, 11 episodes long. Star Trek Continues. It's basically a passion project. People who got permission from the original estate to make a whole new season, basically Star Trek, the original series, not for profit, just to do it and put it out there. They literally like take music from the old original series, master it in, sample it in, band upon it to make their own custom music for the own series.
I bet you some record labels gonna.
This is actually pretty cool. I mean, just kind of skimming through this first episode, right? If you were just to show this to me real quick, I don't know if I could pick out the difference.
I gotta say, like, the quality is like, I don't understand how they got as good as they got without it literally putting people in the poorhouse. And it literally adheres to the old ideology of Trek. But of course, because it's done after 2013 or whatever, definitely some politically correctness injected into it. But to be honest, it's injected in the way that they would have injected it back then. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I've literally sat down and watched this full series. I want to say 2 or maybe 3 times incompletely. And every time I do, it's just really good. And I hate to say it. Guest stars that appear on it. Literally, episode 1, Star Trek Continues, episode 1, Pilgrim of Eternity. The original actor from the original series who played Apollo is the same guy who they have in this episode playing Apollo. They have in episode 2 Lou Ferrigno, and he plays a big green muscle-bound brute without sounding stupid, and he does really good.
I mean, I guess this is the definition of passion project because that's the only way you get this done on that shoestring budget.
Yeah, and then I want to say episode 4 or 5, they fire the doctor and bring another guy in who, to be honest, they needed to fire the doctor. Episode 1, 20 minutes in, you'll say to yourself, who's this doctor?
Yeah, that video that I just posted, you should apply that to stop forwarding.
Gotcha.
Facebook should be that pretty much applies. Instead of stop forwarding, stop posting that crap.
Right. Ooh. Yeah. Captain Zero says in the chat, I guess you don't have to go to work tomorrow. Maybe I do. But
I know I
here's a
do.
g-
I
know, but here's a good thing. I've been to work one day this week. I'm pretty sure I've already done more work this week than most other people in my building because it's close to the holiday. Everyone checks out.
Yep, exactly.
And I hate to say it. I mean, literally last Friday I went into work. Okay. Still with pneumonia. To another guy, and we start to discuss about how we're going to do some stuff. The main administrator of my building walks up to me and says, "What are you doing here?" Almost embarrassed at what I said. I turned to him and said, "What the hell do you mean? What am I doing here?" And he said, "I don't think you should be here. You're sick." I said, "Well, you're not a doctor. If I was contagious, I wouldn't be here. And if I wasn't here, stuff wouldn't get done. So I'm here. So can I do work?" And I know he's a germaphobe, but he doesn't know that I know he's a germaphobe. I immediately start coughing just so he leaves the room. And then I thought, man, that was kind of a jerk move. I don't know if I should do that. I don't know. I think I should say something to him. And then I thought, stuff to do. I'll just keep doing work.
I like how you played that.
Well, and he did say something to my boss. I found out he said to my boss, I don't think he should have been into work today. And then my boss literally said to him, "Are you a doctor?" And, that kind of stopped the conversation right there. Has no fear of his own job. He kind of made that clear to me. Okay, I'm gonna kill the stream just because I gotta kill OBS. I'm literally like in fear it's causing like a memory leak that's just gonna all of a sudden explode over everything. I don't trust this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna kill the stream first there.